Welcome, ChatGPTs and Cybertrucks alike, to ProBots Sideloaded. This is it, the last ProBots competition of 2023. I'm your host, Drekken, and your producer. It has been quite an honor to bring you the best StarCraft 2 AI competition on the planet. I should know, I've looked. No other competition. None better. From the beginning, it's always been our goal to create a place where the most talented coders can go up against each other and show what they can do. And I think we've done a great job this year, this season, but it's not over yet. We got one more match plus an exhibition. You know the drill. You've been here before. Let's kick it off. Let's bring in our casters, Endersword and Andy Man.
It's time.
It is
time.
time.
We're here. We're all here. Look at us.
Here. Look at that.
Why do you get the big screen? What is this?
It's bigger.
What the hell?
Design choices.
Thought we were all equal
Santa.
here.
Santa.
Design choices, I guess. I don't know.
Welcome everybody, like Drekken said, to ProBots, our last season of the year, our last games of the year here. I am so excited for tonight. We have humans versus bots tonight. That is what I am most excited for. I'm just going to go ahead and bring that up first because it is going to be awesome.
Of course,
Drek,
it's going to be awesome.
Take it away. What else? You got questions for us or something?
I got so much for you guys. I got so much for you. It has been quite a year. Shorter than normal. And then Sideloaded is a different version and type of ProBots in general. But overall, I don't think we got less of a quality show. I think we at least with Sideloaded, we were able to condense all the actions of ProBot in a short period of time and still get, we still saw some pretty awesome performances from these bots. Like, I hope you guys agree.
Yeah, if anything, I think we got closer matchups by doing it in this style. We got way more like ace matches out of it than we have in most seasons.
Yeah, I think you're right. That feels right.
In terms of I want to ask you guys about the format. You guys obviously casted the format, like, here and all the way through qualifiers, groups, finals, as we see on the screen. What part of the actual format did you like the most? Like any of these particular layouts?
I liked the brutality of it. We just started eliminating bots right away. And that does kind of suck, for especially maybe a new author or somebody just joining, or even a seasoned veteran that can hurt, get knocked out in your first matchup. But I think that was kind of fun. It was just very cutthroat, and you really do have to bring your best to the table to succeed in this format.
Yeah, it was kind of a fair first elimination, though, by doing it.
But it was fair.
Where the highest seeded ones were already ahead. It kind of meant like, okay, the newcomers in, you get your one shot, but you're getting a one shot against someone else that's either a newcomer or like has only been in for a season or two, or just not ranked as high. So instead of it coming in and like, okay, welcome to ProBots, play the last season's champion in your first match, it was more like even for that. So I think we got more of a showcase of what some of the new ones can do. And then once we get into groups and stuff, then you were in the double of them.
Yeah, it was cutthroat but fair.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how did you feel about having the more powerful bots moved to the front and beginning to see these bots, like you didn't get to see Eris in the first couple of weeks, right? We didn't get to see, or Phobos.
Yeah, Phobos.
Phobos, yeah, Eris is not around.
The twist of Phobos was interesting because, of course, it's a new bot. So we were curious to see what it was, but it kind of carried the seeding of the author's other bot ahead. So we didn't really know what to expect. But I think then when we did get to see it, it was interesting.
It was a big wild card, I would have to say. Yeah. And we didn't know what was going to come out, especially so late into the actual season. Yeah. It could have been anything. He could have just dominated and run through. And so how do you feel that Phobos changed the outcome of this tournament, like, overall?
I mean, it just made it more like a tournament without Eris going to win it all.
Yeah,
it's the only big change.
Yeah, exactly. It did its job by stepping aside almost and creating a toss-up. And then even then, like we're seeing the path here right now, like beating Benbot in the first best of three, but then losing in the second best of three is interesting. Like years ago, we never would have seen that. Like it's usually if a bot wins, they win. But now there's a lot of variation, so that's not the case.
Well, and there's also, I guess, a power vacuum that sort of comes out when Eris is removed from the top spot. And I think we do have, throughout the entire history of ProBots, there are a couple of bots that kind of sit as like gatekeepers to bots as they come up and come up through the ranks. So you have your micro machines, your tiers, right? If you beat those type of bots, you've like patched the great divide between I would say amateur league and what would be quantified as like the ProBots.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and Micro Machine kind of served that purpose here again a bit. It's just kind of like the check for whether you're in the elite or not, and like in terms of the ladder to qualify, that check seems to be around that 2,000 elo mark of whether you're in that elite class or not.
Yeah,
you cut it.
Can you cut it, right? And Micro Machine is an old guard. He doesn't get updated a lot, but he still represents a sort of skill barrier that, like, if you can't beat or take a game off of Micro Machine, you might not be ready to take a game off of Eris or take off a game off of
even
Tyr.
if you can, you might still lose. Ketrock beats Micro Machine on the AI Arena ladder, I think, pretty regularly. But then he just got 2-0 here. He's a wild card.
Yeah.
I think it's because Micro Machine doesn't change a lot. It's interesting because it's the measuring stick.
It's like an anchor of like the skill level because he doesn't change. He's very stable.
Yeah.
You could snipe him, but he's also he does a large berth of types of things, right?
So when you change your bot, you could be beating him for months, and then you change your bot to beat someone else, and then find that you lose to him.
Yep.
Which I think it may be what happened there.
So since we've had such a, I think, fantastic season, and I wanted to before we get into the humans versus ProBots, I wanted to actually talk to you guys a little bit about 2023 overall. We're at the end of the year. We're at the end of the season, this season, but overall, what were your favorite performers, taking all season 1 and Sideloaded into consideration?
Cannon Rush, why not? Cannon Rush bot who swept it all. He was my favorite. This popped up and kind of made me solidified that. It's just not something you would expect. We see some snipes and cheeses, but this wasn't a direct snipe towards any specific bot. It was just a very strong Cannon Rush contained strategy into stalker harass, and I like the aggressive play. I think it was really cool to really see some aggressive play like that. Cheesy, albeit, but aggressive and effective, and it was nice to see it get this far. And I like Shark, and Sharkbot has been fighting for a long time here, and he's always not underperformed, but he's never quite made it to this top going up against Tyr in the grand finals scenario. I think he always gets knocked out usually before the round of 4. So I was very impressed by Sharkbot.
Understood. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Kananana's emergence as one of the elite ones is really good, especially with Eris stepping out. That I feel like Kananana is almost that style of bot that has kind of come in and taken that space. And I've always been like a Tyr fan as the Protoss, and then seeing him kind of change to Terran and come in and retake that elite spot again is interesting. Tyr's always been creative with the one author, and now with 2, there's more resources there. So I think
I was going to ask you who's the most improved, but I'm wondering if the answer is going to be Kananana.
Yeah, I think I think without question, that's the fastest improving one.
I was excited to see Antibot come back this season too. I know author of Antibot has been working hard, making some cool new drop micro, I think, and things like that. So I'm excited to see that hopefully in future seasons as well.
I hope it's a trend. I hope we start seeing like old bot authors bringing back like a -0 coming back. Would be. I'd be curious to see how some of these bots the older bots, like even Veteran's original author, an updated Veteran, how would it stack against, an Eris, a Phobos, a Sharpened Edge with actual updates all the time? How would that stack? These, I think, more potential bots, but not actively updated bots, I think would maybe give a run for the money for some of the other veteran bots.
When was that Sharkbot Kananana game? I thought You got
This would have been
Cannon
season 1. All these are from the clips. That
Oh,
we're
these are
currently seeing.
old highlights. Okay,
Yeah,
that
these
just
are
blew my- I
all
was like,
highlights.
wait,
This
when
is
did
the
we
best
see?
season.
I know
These are-
Sharkbot can do late game stuff, but I thought we didn't see that.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to bring that up. Don't worry, I have a question for you guys about in terms of Sharkbot as a whole is an interesting bot because we haven't seen some of his potential, but in season 1 we did see. But we'll get onto that. Let's continue about season 2023 overall. Is there a loss you kind of like you didn't expect you guys to see this season?
I think the Ketrock Micro Machine one.
Yeah, probably just that one.
Yeah, I think that's the one that stands out.
I was a little surprised Benbot got 3-0'd. Usually Terran versus Terran's pretty good. So, but again, that just shows how strong Tier has become as well and how much they've improved.
I was surprised at how
it's pretty good.
short they were.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's
more
what it
than
was. They
anything,
were just
because
short.
I expected Tier to win, but I thought they'd be like 25-minute big games, like sort of thing, and they weren't. So that.
Yeah. And so for next year, obviously we're back for 2024. We're definitely coming back. And so, who are you most looking forward to? You think you're step up their game for the next year? Take all that they've learned and just really. We probably be on a new patch. I'm hoping, cross my fingers, that we'll be on a new patch. So, it could upend everything. As we see, Micro Machine might be obsolete.
Get out of here with those heretic words.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Kaninana in that. I think huge steps forward made. Really has the ability to use a lot of things, and I think now it's just a matter of plugging little holes in the play to get a more like overall strategy. But yeah, I think that's the one that's on the most up angle, and then Tier. I kind of wonder whether Tier's gonna stick with if Tier wins the tournament, then are we going to see like a Tier Zerg next season or something? Just to.
Oh, he
to
already
dominate
has
with
Tier
them all.
Zerg technically.
Yeah,
He
he's
does,
got them.
random,
It's just which
so.
one you put in or which one you focus most of your effort in. But yeah, I think that's. But Kaminana probably.
Well, Tier is a bot that has a wide berth. I'm gonna guess and put out a limb. Probably has the most builds per bot. I would say is probably Tier, and then maybe Xena. If I was to guess, just by the virtue of being a random
Yeah,
bot.
being random. Yeah.
And
Sharkbot would be up there as well, I think.
Yeah. So I imagine if he refines a couple of them for each one of his races.
Yeah.
Could be.
I feel like
The
every season Sharkbot gains like a new power. It's like he gets
Yeah.
something really good, but now he's finally bringing them all together, and he'll be unstoppable. So.
Yeah. He's on that Thanos arc.
I would might
like
say
a
that
Thanos
Sharkbot is the kind of the bot that goes a little bit further out into the deep end in terms of what his bot can
totally.
do. He's almost taken the place of the four-way lover-esque bot where
Three-way lover.
Three-way lover.
three-way lover, as almost our gimmicky bot, but at the same time willing to try things that are a little maybe not in the meta, people are not really thinking about. Like he brought up this cannon rush, which is kind of like not it's not something we would normally see. This contain is not really like we've seen contains, but this is like a type of contain that's not seen in ProBots.
Yeah, for sure. That sort of building placement based wins are usually not a thing. Like, because that's hard to do on maps, and we kind of saw, just on Thursday how some of that variance comes into play of like what the map looks like and how hard it is to program around. So yeah, I think there's more to be done there. The other one that I want to bring up is like kind of a dark horse success maybe for next season is Octopus V3. Because it's one of our more ambitious new bots, or like newer bots, not just new this season, but I think 2 seasons. But it's usually when you get a bot like new in our league, it's like, okay, it does like a 1 base timing, or it does like a roach all in or whatever. Octopus came in like its first season is like, okay, I'm going to carriers with oracles and tempests. and like so it's very ambitious from the start, and it's made a few of those things work, like the oracles and stuff, which we've seen not too many people do. So I think just the fact that it's come in with the ambition of playing late game and playing with a bunch of units, that as you fill that out and plug some of the gaps, I think that one's got a lot of potential.
So before we go to any more, let's quickly talk about humans versus ProBots. I see your timer. I want to make sure everyone understands how the format goes. You guys are veterans of human versus ProBots. Endersword, I love how you explains the Pro League style to everybody.
Yeah, it's basically Pokemon style is what it is. Is that you've got your lineup and the other one has their lineup, and you just kind of match up A versus A, B versus B, C versus C, D versus D. And just total score at the end is ultimately the winner. So yeah, we're gonna have each bot play against one human and just take total wins and losses.
And it's teams of 5, by the way. We've got 5 bots that are playable. You can download them. I'm sure there will be a link below us very soon. If it isn't already, you can go download these bots and send us some replays if you get a really cool replay that you liked. And definitely let us know if you have fun playing them, or if you encounter any problems. There's always little problems here and there that always seem to pop up. But I think you guys got it really fleshed out this season. We've working really well.
Seemed to work. Yeah.
We've actually been doing kudos to Cryptius for in the back trying to get that app to be a little bit more user friendly. Every year I think we do a little bit more tweaks to make it's more accessible to the general. Like now you have a dummy bot, so you can set up your hotkeys without having to trigger one of these bots' win-loss ratios. And we've made at least. I got some compliments about how the format or the setup instructions are a little bit easier, a little bit cleaner for people to follow. So, I'm hoping we can get to a point where you can quickly click and find and download a bot and make it your practice partner, and that would be the dream, right? You can pick a Eris today to practice your macro against Zerg, or a Shark bot to practice against cannon rushing. That would be, to me, like the ultimate value to the community, the StarCraft community as a whole, from ProBots. That would be a great gift if we can get to that point. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to give it to the casters. Thank you, everyone, for showing in. We're going to go to human versus ProBots. Andy Man, Endersword, you guys take it away with them.
Thank you, Drick. All right. And if you like what you see and you want more people to know about it, make sure you hit that little thumbs up button right below us. Get us a little bit more visibility onto YouTube. And tell everybody that ProBots is happening. This is, again, the future of StarCraft happening now. These bots are evolving before our very eyes. There we go. Get Drek out of here. It's time for games, Endersword. Are you ready?
I am quite ready.
For our humans versus bots, we are starting with the humans versus bots, and then we will, of course, have our grand finals of a best of 7 between Tier and Sharkbot. So make sure y'all stick around. You got plenty of time to get your friends in here so they can see that grand finals. Should be a lot of fun. But first, we are going to do Team Meatbags versus the bots to see if the bots have evolved anymore from last season.
Indeed, and I think our players have leveled up a little bit as well. We've got a good roster there, but yeah, people always ask us constantly, anytime someone sees it, how good are these versus humans, and we're gonna see now.
Yeah, we're gonna hop into our first game. It is ready. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. These are best of ones, humans versus bots, to see how it goes. Let's start it. Oh, we're back.
Oh,
Go back.
Benbot BC.
of Spiny and other
And
things.
Eris
Eris
and
yeah.
Phobos.
And
He's not alone.
and-
He's been working with
and what
Paul,
was it?
right?
The Harvester below before that, yeah.
Oh yeah, well that was
a long time ago.
Was that his as well? I thought it was.
I
Paul's.
thought it was maybe.
Or I don't code
Pa-
this game.
Paul. Well, yeah, because Paul's is Paul. We keep calling Paul, but that's not.
Oh yeah.
That's not Paul's name. That was his bot's name.
Infy's the
right?
harvester.
Right,
Yeah, that's right.
right. Okay.
Anyway, Rasper definitely and co is the most winning bot author on ProBots. He has 4 wins under his belt, and so that's why I'm really excited for the Grand Finals 2. Tier is going for his 3rd win to play potentially today. But anyway, we've got Rasper running away with drones and just trying to expand. I don't know if anybody saw, but Rasper did take a hatchery first, I think, really quickly.
Yeah, I think so. And he did try and go out and stop this barracks from getting down, but by pulling 3 drones there, wasn't able to actually stop it in time. And Marines are getting out, but he's now going to try and take out that SCV. I think he maybe should give it a shot with 4 lings. But if not, the bunker's going to get up. It is on the low ground, though, so the map here is working in his favor, that he's not going to be able to do much damage from down there, but he can definitely contain things.
This map again, yeah, we've seen this very specific ramp be a bit of a pain in the butt for the bots trying to push up it.
Yeah, and it can make such a difference in how your games play out on whether or not there is a ramp into your natural or whether or not you've already got that even ground access into it. And I think at this point there's more maps in the pool that don't have it than do. It used to be just a complete standard that like almost every map in the ladder pool had this ramp up, but now it's not necessarily ramp. There's always a choke of some kind, but if it's on flat ground, then that does make quite a bit of a difference.
Yeah, is this a little too wide open then? Do you think, for the Terran to hold it? I mean, obviously he's not committing fully. He's just keeps.
Yeah, again, it's just kind of this light contain. He'll, depending if he does the same follow up he does against bots, he'll try and send a tank. He'll try and build a turret there, just things like that. To try and hold a spot, but it's not a
and this would be, I think, harder to hold against a human, because when a bot is up against a bot, typically just what we have seen recently, the Zerg would be poking and attacking. Rasper knows that this is contained here, and he's got that human sense of, oh, I'm just gonna sit back and build up and build up and build up, and by the time Benbot realizes, oh, there's way too much here to stop me, he might just have too much, or Rasper might have too much for Benbot even to hold back at home.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a lot of patience there, and the human has a lot more options to really adapt to the situation with something like a Nidus or whatever. It looks like in this case he's going to Aspire, whether that's to get mutas out or whether to make the inevitable anticipation that battle cruisers are coming and get corruptors out early. Is another possibility. What this is doing, though, is despite Rasper's patience, usually a Zerg wants to be on 3 bases by now, and this contain is certainly preventing that.
That's true. It has kind of scared him into sitting on 2 and getting that Spire. But that's not the worst choice, as Benbot is now starting to push up, so it's good that there was at least a spine crawler here to start doing a little bit of damage. There's no medevac healing, so every spine crawler poke is a really good one. Oh, that's a lot of queens. Yeah, I think this is just too much. That was not the best attack out of Benbot, but again, that's what I was talking about earlier. This ramp is just a death trap to these bots sometimes.
Yeah, it could grind up. He almost got that spine crawler, but it is going to be healed up by a couple queen transfuses and 2 more of them coming down. But it is definitely cutting into Rasper's ability to expand. He is making 8 mutas at the moment, which is a good initial flock, but it's going to be hard to maintain a lot of them off just 2 bases.
Yeah, I wonder if someone was asking in the chat if these are actually the first games. We do encourage you all to send us your first replay. Not accusing, just
in some
makes
cases,
me always wonder.
Yeah, in some cases we can tell. So
I think this one feels like a first game for sure.
It does. It's of course in a case where it's a first game, but Rasper also knows what Benbot does, and everything. But But you can often tell it'll say something, or in like the data,
the bots
or just
will call
the way
you
it
out.
behaves, it'll be clear that it's not necessarily.
Here go the mutas. Now, Rasper has seen that no third base is here, so I guess that's why he's okay just sitting on 2 bases, and now with the mutas coming in, he's going to be able to clear out an entire mineral line. There's like no defense here, maybe a marine or 2, but
Yeah, single
he just
marine. He'll
pops
swing
up
over to the
now.
main, see what's going
Yeah,
on.
this is going to be
here.
really good damage. She's going to be able to harass and bounce back and forth almost endlessly, I think. Let's see if he swings back to the right here as he pulls the marines up. That is one thing I don't think a lot of bots do when they start getting harassed by mutas, because we don't see this a whole lot against bots.
Yeah.
They don't split up their defenses to be able to
Yeah, they
be
often
ready
don't.
to, you know, to if the mutas do swing back to that other mineral line, you know, you want a few marines there, but a lot of the time the bots just chase and chase and chase.
Yeah, they don't really anticipate where you're going to go next. They just deal with where you are. But these mutas
Ooh.
flying over that pack lose a couple. And each of those is quite valuable if you're trying to have that spiral out of control. I think BenBot is unaware of this, but I think BenBot has enough stuff that if he just charged up into the natural, it would be a pretty easy win. But he's obviously now being distracted and pulled home by this Muta assault. There is a Viking out. I guess just the one for now. There are like medevacs still building. A turret is coming down somewhere, but there's not too much of it out. Well, that's an interesting spot, but I guess that's fine. It gets taken out, but he takes a loss for it. And now we're getting
Do you think
Banelings.
BenBot can split? Do you think he knows how to split his marines? I don't think we've never had to see this.
I don't know if
we've never.
Yeah, that's
The
often
bots
one
will
of the
do it.
things. It's kind of gotten out of the meta to use Banelings against bots because the bots split so well. But then because that's not in the meta, maybe some people don't even bother to
Yeah,
program
exactly.
it in as much because you just assume they're not going to do it. But
I think Micro Machine and a few of those
yeah.
other Terrans do have it programmed in. I've never seen BenBot versus Banelings. I don't think so.
yeah.
We'll have to kind of wait and see here.
So yeah, Mutaflock here getting a little low, getting a little unhealthy. There is Banelings into a tank and I believe an empty bunker. So maybe not the most efficient thing, but does clear that out anyway. And Rasper does kind of need to expand because as much as he has killed a bunch of workers with those mutas and everything, the worker count is still in BenBot's favor, as is the overall supply. And Rasper moving out to do something now.
There's his base. Okay, well, and yeah, BenBot's ahead of him on bases now, so he better hope
Yeah.
these mutas start
Doing a
they
good
are
job here.
starting to clear off the mineral line. There we go. That's
Yeah,
nice.
but still 5 workers ahead for BenBot's side. And definitely you want, as Zerg, you really want to be a full base up, let alone playing catch up from behind. And we're getting still more Vikings, so BenBot has not transitioned into that BC play yet, but I think at the moment he's kind of got an army that could potentially just crush if it realizes that, and that looks like an outright kill.
Yeah.
No cancel.
You know, and there's one of the flaws of being a human. You can't
Mm-hmm.
pay as much attention as a bot. You can just be like, oh, that got to X amount of health canceled. You know, it just does it almost automatically in that sense. But here we go. There is a big wave of wild. They do split a little bit of skirting back, not a lot.
Not a whole ton.
But
And,
I think it was there's just too many Hydras. It was enough to survive the Banelings, but then the Hydras cleaned it all up.
Yeah.
So not bad splitting though. I gotta say that was, if it had just been Banelings and maybe a lot of Zerglings, if there hadn't been the Hydras there, that actually would have done decently well, I think.
Yeah, not the worst. They didn't really seem to
smart
like
Hydra switch.
target down. They were still firing at the front line of the main army. A lot of armies will split and try and target fire down the Banelings to avoid getting hit at all. But not the case there. Rasper is moving across with this group of Ling and Hydras. Oh,
Boom,
big
big
shot,
hits.
taking out basically every Ling. And the Hydra is now off creep and exposed. They do a lot of DPS, but they are much better when there is something in front of them to soak up some of the damage. But there are enough of them here to just take out the bio.
Yeah, nice positioning up on the high ground there. The Hydras were a phenomenal choice. We've even got Lurkers coming down behind it, and with the continued bio coming out, the Lurkers are just going to be able to clean it all up. So
Does get the
we
win
got
around,
Rasper
which is
taking a win
huge.
here. Yeah, Widowmine was sweet. I love that the bots
He's-
using Widowmines.
Rasper definitely in the lead, but there's still some work to be done here before he really clenches it as a win.
Ah, he's once you've got the
Yeah.
third on chokehold like this and you're killing SCVs,
Yeah.
Zerg's got it.
Yeah, Ling's coming in for a bit more reinforcement. There's the remaining mutas. There
Are
as
there
well.
some left?
Yeah, there are 4 left that just kind of went off the heel, and they're back.
Human intuition wins the day again. Sitting patiently on 2 bases, Rasper is able to survive the initial contain and just absolutely push it back and demolish everything that BenBot has. But a nice little opening out of BenBot. That was some really nice pressure. I could definitely see somebody panicking and maybe not making the correct decision or being able to get as much done with the mutalisks, little things like that. So well done by Rasper. Good play.
Yeah, indeed. Tank up here is not Siege. That would have helped as they come up the choke point of the ramp here. And yeah, another tank out, instantly killed. Yeah, the Hydras were always kind of the vulnerable part here, but just nothing ever got done to them. And Rasper with the GG call, was that an offensive one, or did BenBot say it?
I
yeah.
think Rasper said it. I don't know.
Yeah, Rasper said it, but yeah, I think so. The offensive GG to push him out, and yeah, so good patience by Rasper to be able to do that, and then kind of clear out the contain in time to go and take some other bases and keep the economy going.
All right, well, humans are
All
up
right.
1-0. That was
They
a
are
good game.
indeed. They are indeed.
Endersword, you're up next.
I guess so.
I guess so. We
I
have
guess
got
so.
one more game, and you are currently ranked as a diamond player.
Yes,
You have dabbled in Masters,
I
I
have
think,
dabbled
from
in
time to time.
Masters, but I wouldn't say that I'm Masters at the moment.
Not consistently.
Yeah.
But you're going up against one of our grand finalists,
Mhm.
Tier. We're going to
Yes.
have Tier versus Endersword coming up here, and we're going to change the names below there. Now, did you play against all the bots or just Tier?
I played against a few and then submitted. Some of them didn't work. I had trouble actually getting BenBot to work.
Okay.
But yeah, so Tier, I think, was maybe the second one I played, something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
they're good to try them all. But I thought Tier was kind of the best match. We'll see if y'all agree.
Do we
but
have
yeah.
the link up to play against the bots yet?
Probably should put in chat there.
Somewhere. Yeah, someone,
yeah.
if we can get that in chat, because you can. I saw somebody asking about it. You can play against these bots. You can go download
Yeah.
them. I believe you can get that in the Discord as well. Go check that out. It's pinned.
Okay.
I don't know how YouTube pins work, so y'all can go find that. But yeah, play against the bots. Go have some fun. We're gonna watch another game here in just a minute. This is, again, in case you're just joining us, the Humans versus ProBots matches, and it is a 5 versus 5 GSL Pokemon style, whatever you want to call it. Basically, first to whoever gets more wins. It's
Yeah, just based
1v1
on
5
total.
times.
Yeah.
5 different matches, 5 different players. Yeah. Fun.
Exactly.
We've got a couple Grandmasters. Ooh, that should be
Yes,
fun.
we do. Yeah, I think our last 2 are Grandmasters. I think, yeah, someone asked about like the maps. So the maps that are used are the AI edition, so it won't overwrite like your actual StarCraft ladder maps or anything.
Yes.
So if you are running into it where it says, hey, you've already got this file with the same name, you're safe to say override. I don't know if there's been some. Obviously, there's new ones for this map pool that weren't there last season when we did this. But I don't know if they're different files or whether you're just overwriting with the identical one. But
I think they say like AIE or something at the end.
they
of them,
do.
so
But
it
I
should-
mean, if you played last season, you're gonna have some of these maps already. With
Oh,
that
I
name.
see what you're saying. From
So when I
last
when I
map.
reinstalled it like this season, it will say
Gotcha.
like, do you want to overwrite these? You could just safely say yes. It's fine.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, yeah, we've got another game ready to go. Tier versus Endersword up next on ProBots. players are breaking things here apparently.
I saw something
Yeah,
for a
did this
second.
Tier.
And with the assumption that Tier was probably going to do something pretty aggressive, um, you know, in terms of like a timing or something like that, but opening pretty just kind of normal. I think Tier comes across and scouts me. I don't bother till a little later.
So what was your plan going in? Because you've played against a lot of these bots.
Yeah,
you
I've played a lot
played against
before.
Tier, but have
Tier-
you ever played against Tier's Terran?
Tier, I think I did last season, but it's a lot different this
Yeah.
season than it was last season. So a lot of improvements have been made. So I didn't fully know what to expect, but I was just I was generically expecting like a lot of, like just a lot of bio aggressive pushing.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I went in with the mindset of, and I kind of went with I didn't think he was gonna cheese necessarily, but if he had, it probably would have worked because I kind of cut corners at the beginning, really went one gateway and didn't even bother to build a unit.
And I feel like a lot of people do that. I feel like a lot of the time you can get away with that against the
Yeah.
bots, unless they are specifically designed to cheese you and
Yeah.
take advantage. But most of the bots, especially versus humans, just do a little bit more standard play.
Yeah.
I think so. It's safe to get that earlier base and maybe try to get that economically, because the bots are going to be mechanically faster. Do they speed mine versus humans?
I think they
Is your
still
speed
do,
running?
yeah. Yeah, I think they still do.
So yeah, that gives them a little advantage as well early game. So yeah, any advantage you can sneak in there is probably a good idea.
So here his Reaper in, and I know that his Reaper doesn't attack you.
You just didn't do anything.
So I just
the
didn't
advantage
even
of
make a
casting
unit.
Tears games constantly.
Yeah, I just kind of knew that it doesn't attack you. So I was getting a stalker out, which I chronoed in case it came back, but I knew that first loop, that, like, he wasn't going to kill workers or anything, so I didn't.
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah.
What's he? Yeah, he's gonna see your workers mining. Great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
well,
so
building up here.
That's it.
Got Robo Bay. Oh, that's a good choice. Get the Robo facility.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple things I wanted. So the Twilight Council and the Robo at the same time. I know that if you're playing against a Terran, you need charge.
Mhm.
That's like for sure. And then I was figuring Colossus is ultimately where you're going.
We're going to the ground. What if Tier went Vikings though? Tier does go Vikings.
It definitely does, and we'll have to deal with that when that happens. Yeah. So
We'll
you'll see.
deal with that
I
when
won't.
we get
Yeah,
there.
try not to precast too much to what's happening because, of course, I know. But yeah, just
pretend
kind
like you
of. Right now, I'm just trying to like get some stuff out. Shield battery there up front. Zealot, Sentry, Stalker.
Some kind of defense so you don't die in case
Yeah,
he does start
something
doing
there,
some aggression.
and then
Yeah.
get an observer out. One really good thing about this map is there's kind of this one central point that essentially, if anything's going, it's probably just going to go through that point, and I kind of took advantage of that a lot on
Just
this
kind of
one.
sat and watched. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, that you just had a really good early warning on anything that was going to happen, and
They don't put watchtowers on maps anymore, do they?
not too much. Yeah, I haven't seen one in
I miss those.
quite a while, really. I thought they were kind of.
I always liked
cool.
having those.
Yeah. Yeah, it provokes some early tiny skirmishes, like a Ling goes out there and a Marine pushes it away, and
It gives you. It just gives you
assassins.
something to do.
Yeah.
Something to control. Yeah.
yeah, indeed. So yeah,
Well,
Tears
maybe-
getting
maybe so.
stem, also getting upgrades. I'm getting the charge, and now starting the Colossus tech, and yeah, that's my observer spot. So I just did it. I set it on whatever that's called, like sentry mode, where it's stuck in place, so that basically the entire game I don't end up moving that.
Yeah.
And
Well, and Tier doesn't have a Raven or anything, so it's got most bots.
Yeah.
Terran bots, I feel like work a Raven in pretty quickly, so he might have gotten lucky there if he doesn't take it out.
Yeah. So he's comes across. So the Reaper comes straight across, and then I see right now passing underneath my observer. Okay, there's a whole ton of bio
This
coming
is it.
here.
This is what you've been prepping for.
Yeah.
Do
So
you have enough? Did you build an immortal? Do you have an immortal?
I
you just
don't,
have
I
gateway
don't
units
think
at
I
the
have
start?
an immortal at this point. Yeah. No. Just
Oh,
a bunch
lot
of
of zealots. That's
just
fine.
a bunch of charge lots.
That's fine. With shield batteries? Oh,
Yeah.
that's just fine. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, unsupported bio against charge lots usually goes in the charge lots' favor. And, yeah, that's the case here. Nice kiting, I gotta say.
Yeah,
the
he's doing
bots
a
always
really
do
good
really
job.
Good kiting.
It's doing a really good job of target firing down some of the weaker ones, and a lot of deep red there. And I wanted to chase this back, but I didn't feel confident on actually going in here.
Which that you probably should have.
Now seeing it, because of
Almost
course
nothing, yeah.
I didn't actually watch this back, but now seeing I probably could have gotten away with that. Although a lot of the zealots were very deep red.
They are hurt. That's right.
And I had no forward pylon or anything, so
yeah, you could have
so I just
potentially
pulled
ended
back.
up wasting them. Yeah, that's smart. You got Storm coming up, so
Yeah.
Fall back, regroup. That's the safe play, especially against the bots. Can punish you if you get a little bit too greedy. They can definitely take
and
the
charge
advantage.
lots, like only melee units like that, they can just get out of order really quick when you're into buildings and everything. That
Yeah.
They just start attacking the wrong thing and just get pulled apart really, really quick. So, yeah. So it looks like Tier has taken the third. I've moved down to take the third, but haven't dropped it yet. But I assume I will shortly, hopefully. And just trying to get the Storm ready, the Colossus ready. Expensive stuff that I really should have a third base for, but
That's a great choice against Bile, and we might even be seeing that. We'll see. This will be fun to see how Tyr deals with it against a human. Sharkbot has, I remember reading a couple nights ago on his updates, Sharkbot has worked in High Templars. If Tyr can survive his Cannon Rush cheese, if he is deemed worthy, we might see High Templars against Tyr in the grand finals.
That would be nice.
That would be pretty epic.
Yeah, get a good chunk of them in there. And then I've got that one sentry still that every now and then I'm just hallucinating Phoenix to check out what's going on.
Just kind of scout,
And then Dark Shrine there, of course, because
if you don't know what else to build, you just build the Dark Shrine.
Yeah,
that's usually why. All right, well, you got a nice composition. More Colossus coming out. This is going to be a hell of a big fight when it happens because Tyr is expanding pretty efficiently. He's got a fourth base on the way now as well, and pretty decent production. We see 7 Marines at a time coming out with some upgrades. Armory on the way, so we might see some more mech work into this.
Yeah, he's way ahead of me in worker count, army supply, a little bit in my favor. He's got the upgrade lead, but I am double pumping upgrades, as is he.
Oh, this is shaping up to be a nice fight. Now, were you just a little afraid to move out, or
I think I kind of wasn't confident with like
scary
going.
Army.
Yeah, I wasn't confident with going with like just one Colossus, and you'll notice I've got no anti-air.
Oh, that's
with this
point,
at all.
Yeah.
So so I kind of
you have
vulnerable.
Storms are anti-air.
Storms are anti-air, but they're not exactly. You don't want to be hitting your own army, like trying
they're
to
kind
get,
of anti-everything.
Yeah, trying to get Vikings and killing your own army underneath it.
Ooh,
it looks like Tyr is mobilizing to move out again.
Doing the training drills there, and Marines are getting hyped up. Yeah, this is going to be a hell of a fight. This army supply is very even. And
so now I see them.
Upgrades?
They're getting underneath the thing. So I kind of move.
1-1-1. Okay.
I kind of do the what I consider kind of an anti-bot thing, which I know where he's going. So I just set up for the flank instead.
It's not anti-bot. That's just smart play. If you see him coming, even if you nice flank though. It does well. I say it is a good flank, but it gives him a nice arc. Storms just it doesn't matter. Storms
the key was hitting the key was trying to hit the tanks right away. So
you didn't have Storm. Do you think maybe he could have held that?
It would have been better, but no. I think that many zealots hitting everything on the side.
That is a lot of zealots. Yeah. Yeah, you could just broadside him.
So now this time I will push in, and trying to keep everything together. Templars are slow.
Well, so
Faith
far,
in him.
I do like what I'm
He's-
seeing. Tyr does split really
He's
well.
got
against the
really,
Storm.
really good splits. He gets out of them very quick.
Quick as you can, but God,
yeah.
you still just take so much damage because you're hitting those dead center.
Yeah.
But that is impressive. If a human player gets hit dead center with a storm, usually all the Marines just die.
Yeah, for sure.
So the
but
fact
he just
Tyr got most
split
of them out in the deep red.
immediately. Yeah.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, because it doesn't. I assume, like any bot, it doesn't anticipate that it could happen. It only responds when it does happen. So you can bait it into, like, just group up and come for it. Yeah, and here I kind of get I get the base. Again, all those zealots are like deeply orange and red, and I only had like 2 stalkers. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna sit the 3 Colossus and a bunch of Vikings.
Regroup again.
Yeah, we're gonna regroup and go home, and then I'm already putting a pylon on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah, while that was a great engagement, Tyr still has a phenomenal economy. 4 bases still. Behind all that, had a 5th coming down. You put him back on 4. So
Yeah, and I didn't know yet at this point that he had the closest one. I think I knew about this one at the time, so I thought that I killed the 4 bases, and now he's on 3. But I killed the 5th base, and now he's on 4. So
these bots are good at just continuing to expand, even if they're losing bases, if they're getting attacked. They can still keep working behind the scenes and keeping things running. So we'll see if Tyr can maybe mobilize enough of another force to potentially fight what you've got. But you have a scary ground-killing army. So unless the Vikings somehow clear out your Colossus, I don't.
There's a decent number now, and I think
That's a lot of Vikings.
Simon is realizing that maybe I'm being a bit of a showman. There's no point in just winning the game on the first push. So the
this is better because we're getting to see what Tyr can do later game and how he can continue to get into this late game and try to survive.
Insta scan on these, which I try and
fighting DTs is so sad.
Pull out.
Never just run. Never
Scan
try to
expires,
fight
and I try and dive for that tank, but no dice.
That was actually cleaned up really effectively. He did lose a few workers, so maybe he could have danced around with the workers a little bit and kept the DTs busy even instead of just fighting with them. But still, that was pretty efficient with the scan to clean that all up. All right, here we go. Another big engagement potentially. You're going for the broadside yet again. Ooh, somebody's getting caught in a choke. It looks like it's going to be Tyr, but maybe that helps him.
He's on the stairs there. Really, really, really hurt him because everything's clumped up for those storms.
Oh, but you stormed your own zealots more than
I did a bit. I did a bit there, but
bio.
A lot of that died. He kind of cleans up here.
Nice counter at the same time.
Yeah, I did that run by at the same time. I just kept the front part of the army going, and then pulled out. Warped in a bunch of stalkers here.
That actually worked out really well, I think, for Tyr. Again, army supplies now in his favor a little bit. He needs to rally some forces to deal with the stalkers, but all in all, that was, I think, in his favor.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
You've got more bases now, don't you?
I didn't anticipate that many Vikings. There was a whole lot, and they just really, really get rid of the Colossus almost immediately.
Yeah, they did a damn good job. So maybe the storms on the Vikings would have been better to hold them back just for a little bit, so the Colossus could kill off the bio, and then it doesn't matter if the Vikings kill the Colossus because all the bio's dead. So things like that. Nice micro kind of on both sides here. Pull back, nice choice. I like your forward position.
Yeah, that was
Good.
key. You
Keep reinforcing.
couldn't do this from home. Yeah.
Oh gosh, no, this would have been done already if you didn't have that. Killing this base is huge. This is a big chunk of Tyr's economy. So the fact that you're able to keep pressure and it's really nice and does put Tyr on the back foot now.
Yeah, and he keeps pulling back to this kind of like neutral position to like let me get up, start to kill the base, and then he kind of yoinks it and comes in with the bio and Vikings. It's still a lot of Vikings, so they can just kind of one-shot a Colossus if they want, and they're just kind of deleting.
One again, storms on the zealots a little bit, so the bio will kite back effectively and enough to maybe clear this all out. The kiting is really good on the Marauders.
Yeah, and I just don't. The moment that I don't have zealots anymore, you want to get out of there.
Oh god, yeah, you gotta get the hell out. Right, here comes another wave of
Pulling
zealots.
back.
The Terran army's hurting. There's not anything. I don't think there's anything overhead to heal, actually. That could be what cost Tier the game. If there was even just a couple of medevacs, that would be huge at this moment for Tier. Be able to heal that all up. Because one Colossus is going to
definitely that's
wipe out
a lot.
a lot
I
of
think
that.
he, because of all the Colossus, obviously switched very heavily into the Vikings, which I think was
Here we go.
was right. But yeah.
He's got 4 medvacs coming now, so. Endersword, you're giving us a bit of a nail biter here. Did you expect Tyr to be able to fight back this effectively?
Not at this point, because I did.
At the beginning it felt like you were playing with your feet a little bit, but now it feels like you're panicking.
I didn't want to just kind of kill it on the first attack. So in reality, that's why I didn't go in. But yeah, exactly. It recovered really, really well.
Ooh, nice storm. Good splits though.
Definitely. They're low enough now that a lot of these are dying even when they get out of it. But I still have to be really, really careful not overextend anything.
I get the sense now you're actually playing a game where you're trying to be as efficient as possible because you're like, oh crap, he's actually holding this a little bit.
Yeah, and I think this little thing, they're kind of mismicroing themselves.
Well, they're trying to get out of the way, but not for long enough. They move out of the way, but then they go right back to what they're doing, and they kind of go back and forth. Here's what could be the last big engagement. I think there is finally enough here. There wasn't enough healing and enough bio in time to be able to hold off your zealot reinforcements. Yeah, with 4 bases, and you've got to be running somewhat close to dry, right?
I think the main was dry. Like, actually, the observers showed my transfer of like 14 probes at once to the 4th base. Because the main is definitely mined out at this point. Finally getting that one, I think, pretty much ends his economy.
That's the deal. Yeah, he's got nothing else.
And
which
now
is interesting.
Now you see a bunch of medevacs, by the way.
Yeah, a little late for that. Yeah. I'm surprised Tyr didn't try to take the base to the top left at all.
Yeah, it didn't seem to extend there. And it never retook the 3rd. So that was killed really early, and he never reclaimed that. And given that I didn't really have the reach to get in there, I don't know whether something broke or he just kind of didn't. But yeah.
Nicely done. Yeah, you gave us a great game there. Both these players giving us a good game. Meatbags are up 2-0. This is not boding well for the bots this season. We always hype them up, but they're getting manhandled this season.
I think it's different. Like me and Rasper, obviously both people that know a lot about how the bots behave, but even in that, like knowing kind of what to expect from it, it's still very hard to actually micro and control it. Like each time I kind of killed a wave of something there, it was shocking how much it re-macroed everything back immediately. And then just the control there to, just that many storms and zealots against those armies should have completely decimated them every time, and they didn't. You had to pull back after a bit.
It was a fun one to watch. All right, well, we've got Micro Machine coming up next. Now, I feel like this might be a good way to get a point on the board for the bots. Micro Machine, always a hard one to beat, and he's been playing against humans for years now. And so he is definitely a fun
was one of the first ones to make that.
Highly recommend Micro Machine as a practice partner. If you need to fight against a Terran, go download the bots and play against Micro Machine. He has some phenomenal play, and it's right around that. I'd say it's right around Diamond to sometimes Master. Like he even almost beat a GM at one point, right?
Yeah, well, he almost beat Steadfast at one point, who's casting DreamHack this weekend. Who's like a Masters 1 player. It's kind of one of those things, again, people ask, like, what level are they at? And I'm like, they're Diamond if you know it's a bot, and they're Masters if you don't.
Yeah.
Because if you expect it to have the same limitations as a human being, and you don't know what it's going to, like, again, if you just naively were like, okay, it's a bunch of bio, I'm going to make, let's say that you decided to make like disruptors, and then you shot disruptor balls to just see everything go whoop, and like completely avoid, like
it completely.
Yeah, or
well, that's
like
why we don't see banelings.
Yeah, exactly. So if you planned on that sort of thing, or like if I planned like, okay, the storms will just win, and then you see that micro out of it, then yeah, they're half as effective as they usually are. So, yeah, so you could easily be caught off guard by these things just by the sheer macro capabilities of them and control capabilities.
All right, I think, are we ready?
Think so.
I believe we're ready for our next game. Micro Machine versus Meat Pod coming up here on ProBots.
Micro Machine. Micro Machine.
That
Meat
one
Pod
is
up in
Meat
the
Pod.
right. Yep.
Yeah, so this is a self-reported platinum player, and I won't call them out too much, but you could see in that first chat that that this isn't the first game. In fact, I would argue that it's probably at least the 10th.
Not necessarily. It could be like there. It could,
It
sometimes
has-
you do have to spend the first game or two.
Yeah,
just
you
getting
do.
Your, getting
That's
your
true.
settings.
Yeah, so if you're doing it,
together.
if you're doing it just for fun, it doesn't matter. But if you want the bots like genuine first effort, because some of them will change what the build is if they've won or lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do usually need to start it to get your settings right and like to understand what's going to happen. Because it's weird. It opens two windows. You have to maximize one. You have to maybe you didn't set your hotkeys right, things like that, which you can't then do in the game.
Yeah.
So do that. But if you want to play like a specific one on a specific map or something, do your setup against another one and then switch to the one that you want to play so you get its genuine thing.
First build.
But yeah, where it said we've faced each other and I've won at least 60%. Well, the lowest way that you could get that is if you've played 10 times.
Good math. Yeah, you're right. No, that's not true. No, 5 times. Could be 5.
5 times? Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, 5 times. 5 times. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
3
but
out
it
of
couldn't-
5. Yeah.
Couldn't be like just a couple. Yeah.
Anyway, this should be interesting regardless because we've got Micro Machine currently proxying with Marauders. We've seen him do this a little bit recently. I think we saw this actually just a couple weeks ago. And he's going to be able to come in here and start doing some damage. There are a few lings out. Spinecrawler's a little bit late. Speedlings are not going to save him, apparently. So this proxy might just put the bots on the board right away.
Yeah, it could. There's now
Look at that micro.
4 of these Marauders and the drone. I like the initial drone chase. The drone chase halfway across the map is probably not the play, but it does buy time, at least for the Spinecrawler to get up behind, and the build time on those is pretty long, so you do need to buy a fair bit to make that allowable.
Oh, and kind of to your point earlier, this might be the first time that he's actually encountered this build.
Yeah.
Like you said, these bots do switch up builds and that kind of thing. So while they may have played a few times before, this might very well be the first time he's like, oh crap, proxy Marauders? Are you kidding me?
Risky.
And he's getting a little bit destroyed here by him.
Yeah, it was a very risky move to actually move the Spinecrawler right up. I know it, and now he's doing it again.
Oh, is he going to hold? This is close.
I know why he's doing it. Like, it's kind of a risk-reward thing here, I guess, that if you get these up, then they can potentially hold. But this is a lot of Marauders, though.
I think it's just going to act as a force field. The Marauders don't want to push into the spines alone. Maybe if there were units there, they would feel more aggressive and try to push in and start attacking. But as it is, the Spinecrawlers are a force field.
I think there's going to be a confidence moment, though.
You think?
Where
Yeah.
in a lot of these spots, there's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
true.
that moment where it's like, all right, there's 20 of us, guys. Let's go.
Let's go. I like that confidence moment.
Yeah.
We'll see here. Yeah,
Thank you,
okay, the
Yana.
Marauders going to keep building up. More roaches coming out as well. So Meepaw's really going to just try to collapse on this as soon as Micro Machine decides to push in, which might be very soon here.
Yada with the super chat for €5. Thank you
Super
very
chat.
much. Indeed. It's all,
Yeah,
it's
everyone's thinking a reverse sweep going to happen here. It
all,
might.
It might. We're definitely.
We've got 2 Grandmaster players up next, though. So
Yeah, that's true.
don't get your hopes up. We'll see, though. We'll see. All right, well, the Marauders are going to continue to mass. Zergling's speed is getting close to done. That actually could be a huge game changer if he can get a little bit of a wraparound on these Marauders and stop them from kiting so effectively. They are kiting really, really well so far. And again, that's just that bot micro in action.
Yeah, I am a little surprised that haven't
They're not
concluded
going?
to push in. Because I understand them not going in with like
Oh, they're
six
waiting
of
for
them.
stim, probably.
Yeah,
Stim
maybe.
and +1.
Yeah.
He's got a little +1 stim timing, and that's going to be so much more effective anyway. I like that. Might as well wait. Because Meatpod can't push out. Meatpod tries to come into that at all. He's just going to lose units instantly to those Marauders, and they're going to be able to cut back. Yeah, they'll take a little more damage. But he has to do something, I think, before this stim and +1 finish. Because once that finishes, okay, never mind. Micro Machine's just going to go for it.
He was waiting for that one Marine to come.
Gotcha. Need a little anti-air just in case. Here we go. The Spine Crawler's going to fall very quickly. You can see the kiting is really, really effective. Meatpod needs to just go or die. I think either way he might just lose, but he does get Micro Machine up on the wall here.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad position at all, considering what
he danced in Marauder Fire a little bit too much there at the beginning, though.
If there had been creep out there, I think he'd be much better off. But,
for sure.
Yeah, but unfortunately not. Spine's starting to build now, but they're a little ambitious. As the bio has overrun this one of them.
Proxy Marauders are hard to hold if you don't see them coming. So that was, despite that, this was the correct response. It was held pretty
back
effectively
for whatever reason.
For a minute there. Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know what he's
Micro Machine, what
doing,
are you doing?
responding to. Yeah.
Leaving the tank. Is there maybe? Oh, there's is there? What's going on the other side? Is there Zergling running around somewhere?
Maybe.
What's going on?
He's now kind of splitting
Or the
up.
Overlord? No, there's nothing. What's going on?
Yeah, I didn't think anything got out, so I don't know.
Maybe he was
exactly
chasing
what
the
he's-
Overlord or something.
What he's doing. Yeah.
Wow, look at that efficiency. Here we go, the all-in. When you're down, you might as well pull the boys, and all the drones are going to come into fight. They are going to be able to catch a couple of Marauders here, maybe. Zergling's going to catch some on the low ground. Workers actually are going to go back to work.
A lot of these are really damaged, and there's been no healing on them, so I think this is at the very least a very efficient trade.
Yeah, that was one of the better fights so far for Meatpod, for sure.
Yeah, and he does have a spine back. Choosing again though, way aggressive.
Well, the Zerglings might be able to buy enough time for it to get burrowed here. There are a couple roaches as well. No. Okay, it gets burrowed.
Yeah,
He's gonna get a couple pops off. That's good.
Yeah, gets down, but
that's
health.
it. And then it dies. Micro Machine, once the aggression starts, it does not stop for just about anything.
So red. If this little pack of lings could definitely wipe this. Okay.
Can they though?
They can if they get out of tank range. Yeah. Okay. Go.
I don't even know if they can.
Go lingies.
I don't know if they can under sword.
Yep. There,
the Marauders are so beefy. All the tanks end up taking out the Marauders with some friendly splash. After all that.
Oh, don't do this. Don't do it. All right. Yeah. Lings on the tanks, but the drones didn't have to go there. But does clean this up again. We'll stay alive.
Is going to win the game here.
We'll stay alive.
Oh, maybe not. Oh man, the losses are just too much though. Micro Machine has 4 bases. Meatpod has put up a valiant defense and really held on for much longer than I think anybody should against Micro Machine. So nicely done there. Kudos.
Yeah, I bet it was the Micro Machine just kind of not going in to finish, but it's because of the spines, obviously. So good call there. And yeah, are there enough lings to buffer this out for 2 more spines to finish? At some point, he's going to lose this hatchery, though, which will be in a second. Lings.
It's all wrapping up here.
Lings to the tanks, but this time they do not get to finish them off.
Lings to the slaughter. All right, well, bots are going to get a game here, and the humans are able to GG out, so we don't have to watch Micro Machine clean them up here.
Indeed.
Nice win. That was a good game. That was really fun.
Yeah, good attempt and good shot at the hole by Meatpod there, but ultimately overwhelmed. But had some really good counterplay and jumps on units that actually looked like they'd go worse than they did, but
totally.
kind of haul out.
All right, we have got our next grand finalist coming up against the humans. Sharkbot is going to be going up against a Grandmaster Cognite. And this will be interesting to see. I'm curious to see if Sharkbot tries to play a more standard game like the rest of our bots, or if he does try to do that more aggressive, cheesy build, which I think that's what he prefers versus humans, right?
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember
I don't
back
know.
to
I
seasons
think
past.
if
but
you do that sort of like slow cannon, way too far out build against a human, they'll just it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But especially not against even against a pretty low one, just because I think the human decision making would look at it and be like, that's like a mile from the front of my base. If I just ignore it and run by it, I could kill you, or I can just not send you. Like, so much of that relies on what you were talking about earlier, which is just send units in to die on purpose. A human won't do that, so it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are awesome games. Thank you everybody who has submitted replays for us. Definitely go play against the bots, and if you do get a really cool replay, send it our way, and maybe we'll highlight some stuff. And the authors do benefit a lot from this as well.
Yeah, it's cool
because
to
they get
see.
these replays. So
Yeah, they learn to see
learn from it.
Yeah, learn kind of what the options are in a clever way, because of course the human's gonna see some problem solving techniques that like a bot's not going to adapt to mid-game, so you're going to potentially help point out some weaknesses to them of like someone could just do this and completely circumvent you, and you know, if someone then codes to snipe that, then you know it's good that they know the vulnerability. We had also been talking about at the end of last season, we said maybe we'll do a few extra broadcasts that are just human games.
Oh yeah, just highlight
just
some
kind of
human
pick
games.
out some of the best ones and do that. So I find
if we get
those
good enough replays.
interesting.
Definitely.
So
were we ready? He said something.
I don't know what he said. They said yeah.
Oh, okay. We're almost ready, everybody. We're gonna get these rolling. Again, humans are up 2-1. This is pretty much a best of 5 essentially. It's that GSL Super Tournament style where you do 1v1, 5 different players on each team. I like the Pokemon analogy the best. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, so that's
it.
Yeah, teams of
It
5.
works.
I've been doing
It
mono
works.
battles. Mono battles are really tricky.
Oh, yeah?
I gotta say, you can basically your whole team has to share one type, and
Oh, okay.
then
That's interesting.
So you're really weak to certain things, but
So kind of like you're like the fire gym people. And so
yeah,
that's all you
exactly.
can
It's like you're a
use?
gym
Okay.
leader. Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. I always liked the mono battles in StarCraft where it was like 4v4, but everyone could only make that one unit.
Oh yeah, they still have that on the arcade. That's
Yeah,
one
it's
of the
still
more
there.
popular game modes.
Yeah, definitely. That was always a fun one. I haven't played it in a long time, but that was always it's always kind of fun to play like a game that has so many options and then play it with constraints. And it really inspires creativity to play with like the artificial constraints on it, of like what compositions can you do with only fire Pokemon, or
limitations can bring out some creativity sometimes like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it can help you see combinations that you wouldn't have thought of, or whatever. Looking for like what is the least fire type, what is the like whatever, how do these units synergize against each other. It was always fun in mono battles when you'd get like your unit is the medevac or like I don't know if that was one of the options, but it would be
I think
the Viking or something that
The
had a
Paladin.
very limited role, and then you had to figure out what to do.
I
with
always
that
did
thing.
Sentry. Sentry was a lot of
Sentry's fun. Yeah.
fun. Anyway, I think we're finally ready. The timer is out, so we're gonna go ahead and say we're gonna start this. Eris is not up next. It is Sharkbot. Eris is last. We have not seen
Unless
Sharkbot.
unless they
unless
switch
something
this on
happens.
us because of technical difficulties. We'll see what loads.
We'll see what loads, but let's go and hop into our next game here. Game 4 should be Sharkbot versus Cognite. crater in it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Phobos looks like the Death Star, right? Yeah.
Something like that. All right, here we are on Ancient
Not so
Cistern,
much.
one of my favorite maps here.
I'm thinking of a different one, but that one's cool too.
Now, Eris is been the bot to beat for a while. Eris beat Tier last season, actually, in the Grand Finals, but is no longer in our bot tournament, so we're going to be seeing Tier have a chance to shine. But Eris, even against humans, has proven to be very strong.
Yes.
It is just a strong bot
because it's
against
just
everything.
Yeah, it's
plays-
just strong completely throughout, and it's just
yeah.
raw macro, and it's everywhere, and the creep spread is crazy, and and the moon that I'm thinking about is called Mimas,
Was that the Death Star one?
Yeah, Mimas. If anyone Google it, you'll see exactly.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
that one. It's like the coolest thing. It looks exactly like the Death Star.
Oh yeah, Phobos has more of a. It's more like an indent.
it's not. Yeah, it's not rounded.
It's not rounded as nicely. Yeah, it's more like a dent in your bumper or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun names for bots. Celestial object. I like that.
Yeah,
It'd be a good name for pets too.
Well,
Name
that's
your dog Phobos.
I've named my rabbit Eris. So I named
There you go.
the dark one is named Eris, and the light one has kind of like rings, so that one's called Saturn.
Nice.
So so it's Eris after the bot basically, and then Saturn.
Zergling managed to get in. Is going to pick a fight with some probes, but some nice micro cobblestone will keep his workers safe in the end.
Lean
And
is,
again, this is a Grandmaster player, so should give Eris quite the run for its money here. That'll be interesting to see it deal with the Zergling. There we go. Finally gets the Zergling. That's just a nuisance for a human. For a bot, that's not a huge deal. You know, a bot can chase that around with a probe or a unit, and it doesn't really affect other things. But as a human, your attention is getting diverted from building a base or starting an upgrade or making a unit. You know, it can definitely slow things down. So I like this out of Eris, just sending that cheeky Zergling to poke and harass and be annoying, essentially.
Yeah,
but this
definitely.
time, this one's
Nope.
not getting in. Nope, sentry wall.
Mass sentry there at the front.
Nice.
And
This is what I like.
it's an interesting idea to go against bots in particular, and I found I used a tiny bit of force fielding against Tier, and I think again the bots don't really respond to something till it happens. Like they don't anticipate that you could do something like force field them in.
Well, this was always my go-to versus
Yeah.
Zerg build. Was as
Yeah.
a sentry opener to hold those choke points, right, and
Yeah.
protect you from any early Zergling aggression, essentially.
Yeah.
Just so you can control the playing field more.
Yeah, this used to be like it's kind of old school, but
Yeah.
it used to be like the standard is to make
Yeah.
a whole bunch of sentries and just control the battlefield.
It's a
And
good
you
choice
would-
then, right?
Yeah, I think it is in this
Against
case.
Eris,
It's not
yeah.
like in the meta anymore, but I think it's good, like given that it's not a human player, and I don't think Cobblestone is attempting early aggression. And then maybe could be pulling out an old like Soul Train, if you remember that build, which is a bunch of sentries backed by Immortals, and then using the force fields to just kind of slow march and keep the Immortals alive.
That's
I
my
think
favorite
that would work.
composition.
Yeah, it was always it was so technical, like exactly how you had to do and control and just.
Well, and if you wasted force fields and you didn't catch any army and you didn't kill any army on your way to the base, they had a lot more army and you had a lot more force fields when it came down to the big fight finally. So it was
exactly.
You had to accomplish very certain things to make it work. That's a lot of sentries. This is a really big gas investment. So he needs to play very safely with these to make sure he can use them. So far he's doing great though. He's just staying at home. It's just a Zergling here or there, which they zap to pieces, no problem.
And he is getting the Hydra Den. One thing that the sentries are usually best at is things like lings and roaches, and then aren't as good once you get the units with the same range as your units.
But you got the Guardian Shield, which helps out against range. But yeah, you do need something else.
Yeah.
To supplement it. Here we go. A couple of sentries got caught there. As you can see the rest of the force pushing in. Now he should be able to recall. I think that's his plan. He's going to push in, warp in zealots and just try to put some pressure on. And then if things go south, he'll be able to recall those sentries out of there.
see.
Hopefully. Oh no, the Zerglings are getting wise to it, and they're going to
So
hop
I
onto
think
this.
this is fine. This is exactly what you want to happen.
Is
with
it?
the-
He's
yeah,
losing some sentries, though.
He's got a lot got trapped in there, but this is exactly
Nice
kind
donut.
of what the plan of that is. Yeah.
That was a really nice, evenly spaced donut. He could have been a little bit quicker on the draw, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know
lost
if
a
he
couple
expected
sentries.
it right that second, but yeah.
Yeah.
But still
Oh.
fine. And he's still got a lot of very high energy ones. Lings from the back here.
I love the Lings sitting behind the base, and they were just waiting for a chance to counter, it looked like. Or maybe they're just trying to get back safely home here. It's really smart pathing. The Zerglings recognizing they want to get back to defend. I think that's what they're doing, but they can't go straight through the sentries to do it, so they were trying to circle around. Nice force fields once again. Are going to keep the Queens and the Hydras back just enough for the Zerglings to get cleaned up, and now the assault will commence. Full swing. This is it. This either works or doesn't. I think this feels like an all-in out of Cobblestone to me.
It's if these fall, there's so much gas investment in them, and they're clearly intended to launch something.
Or Prism Micro.
Yeah, and this is kind of my concern. Oh, a few of the Hydras getting a bit close. They should die. It's whether or not they're
Queens versus Sentries. Who wins?
Yeah,
Looks like the Sentries are in enough numbers that they will.
Yeah, they still seem to be fine for the moment.
Sentries for the
they
win.
are getting lower on energy, for sure.
Nice
but,
pickups.
Yeah, the pickups are good.
Saving some low
Alternative.
ones.
It was good to not like panic there and use force fields because that's at a premium at the moment.
Oh yeah,
I
he's got
like
to save
this.
up some
Okay.
energy for the next wave because another wave is coming. 24 Zerglings, 3 Hydras, 2 Infestors on the way. But yeah, what is this going on?
So that he's putting the Nexus there for the overcharge on the shield batteries, which is cool. The thing about this, and we'll have to see how it goes, because I love that he's doing this for one, because I think this is obviously not just a normal build. He's trying to kind of.
This is what I've talked about. How you beat Eris. You have to do non-stop aggression.
Yeah, he's
and you have to
trying to
whittle
do
him down.
something fun here.
Still a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, it really has.
Sentry. I've been saying this for forever. Sentries are the best unit in the game.
Great
and
unit.
They are really
Great
doing
unit.
overtime here.
There is. Well, I'm just gonna wait and see if it happens. But there they are. It is. That is a threat.
Oh, the fungals, yeah.
Yeah.
That is one of the hard counters to sentries. You get a couple of juicy fungals, and they
There's a
do end up
lot.
just
Yeah,
melting.
still a lot of shield batteries. So,
Oh,
so
wow,
it's
they're
fine.
still alive.
Because there's just
He's actually got some.
yeah, just an army of batteries there that kept them alive. But yeah, that sort of thing. Obviously, if they get a step forward at all, and you just fungal a group of sentries, they all die with those batteries.
Well, and this is hard. Yeah, I do remember Tyr trying this. Simon reminding us.
Yeah.
Tyr tried this with Pickles, and it didn't work out quite this well. And it's one of those units where it is almost impossible to make the right decision as a bot because, as we just saw, he had to be very hesitant with his force fields when he didn't need them, so he could save them up for later. And it's really hard to identify that as a bot because you do one wrong force field and you just lose all your sentries potentially. You know, so it's really hard to make calls with sentries and just where to put the force fields, when to engage, when to retreat to the shield batteries, things like that.
Yeah, it's so terrain intensive and everything.
So terrain intensive. Yeah.
The one thing that really, and again, it speaks to the attention sort of side of this is Eris, of course, fully macroing behind this. There's been no slip there at all. 92 workers, despite the fact that this is right in your face the entire time.
Nice full.
Yeah, really big one again.
Well, you say that Cobblestone's also macroing.
But yeah, doing well
than I
as
thought.
well. I mean, certainly doing really well. Again, it's a GM player, quite good. But the number of aces that Cobblestone has may be the number of aces that Cobblestone stays at, whereas
That overcharge.
Eris has kind of claimed everything else.
Yeah, Eris has taken the whole map
Yeah.
at this point, almost.
Yeah.
Starting to take bases on Cobblestone's side of things. Wow, that overcharge was, I think, really clutch. It kept a lot of those sentries fighting for a very long time, and now they're going to be able to keep pushing in. They almost catch an Infestor, but he burrows and gets away. Nice sneaky Infestor there. The Hydra's not able to do that. Are not going to be so lucky. They're just going to stand and fight, though. Yeah, this has been non-stop aggression. We have had, I think we're up to almost 1,500 Lings dead.
The Hydras are, yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's got to
Force
be a
field
lot.
again.
The Hydras are doing kind of weird things sometimes. They're like coming
Yeah.
into melee range to attack. Taking out the Nexus there would be nice.
Did you know the
there's
Hydra
another
actually
one.
has a
Yeah,
melee
a
attack
claw.
and a
Yeah.
claw?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the numbers dwindling a bit, and we may have kind of turned a bit on the life of this, but I really like the idea, and it's a lot of fun to see. The issue is this, that it never looked like he could push in. He could
Well,
live in the position for a long time.
Kind
but
of pushed in. Yeah, not really,
Yeah,
though. He never got to a base. He never got
yeah,
to
he never got to
mineral
like a
line.
mineral line.
Well, you say that now he is.
Now he is.
Up in the top left, you mix it
Yeah.
into the mineral line with a bunch of
Yeah.
sentries. The sentry hit squad. Never thought we'd see that on ProBots. They're very exposed and need to get out of here, though. Ooh, barely doesn't get that force field off.
Yeah.
We will be able to get a
There.
little more damage, save a few of those sentries. This is a very close game still, I think. Cobblestone has a very defensive position here. Eris could absolutely keep sending
And
units to
Cobblestone
their death.
did clear out and is trying to take that far left base. If he's still got this chunk in the middle to hold,
Oh,
may
he's not
be able
paying
to get that
attention.
up.
And he got a huge fungal on every single sentry there. They are able to pull back, so not a huge
Yeah.
deal, but in the end. Oh, that was still a juicy fungal.
we're getting Eris towards the max. And yeah, there's just so many Hydras now.
It's too many Hydras. They pounce on the sentries. Oh no, the sentries got a little bit too forward there. They're gonna put a few more force fields to buy some time. Sentries everywhere. I don't even want to see storms. I just want more sentries.
See how he does as the Hydra.
I know. Is this gonna
Hydra's getting
work?
on the buildings could be a issue because this is so reliant on the shield batteries.
There's a lot of cannons here. The Hydras will not be able to clean it out this wave. In the meantime, the sentries might actually get a hatchery. That would be really huge for Cobblestone, but he's lost a lot of economy. 2 Zergling run-bys by the looks
Oh,
of it. This
Lurker.
is so
Lurker is an
micro-intensive.
interesting shift there. Can just kind of camp ground. Doesn't. Yeah,
That is kind of a hard
yeah,
counter
Lurker
against
doesn't care
sentries as
about your
well.
force field.
Does not give a damn. Does not care about sentries whatsoever.
And interesting, yeah, Overlord play here to spread creep into the main base of Cobblestone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What a... I would almost say, like, I thought that would be a human player doing that
Yeah.
if I saw that. But Eris with the cheeky distraction strats. All right, well, things are
Yeah.
shaping up for one more big engagement, I think. I feel like as soon as Eris can just collapse around these sentries, he should have the game, but they refuse to die. The sentries will not give up their position, Endersword.
Yeah, still in a really just very dug-in spot that is hard to take out. And of course, cannons obviously provide protection for the
No.
lurkers, but he is going to come in now, and sentries are not in position to do anything. Lurkers get burrowed in place. And cannons are good, but cannons also don't scale into the late game. You get units that have +2, +3, stuff like that, and they do kind of evaporate out.
Smart recall.
But it looks like Cobblestone is going to kind of counter into the bottom corner here.
Yeah, he realized that defensive position was lost.
Yeah.
So he recalled all the sentries down to the bottom. I mean, might as well. There's nothing here for Eris to defend, so at least Eris will lose a base
Yeah.
to Cobblestone. I mean, this is an important base, actually. Cobblestone
Yeah.
should probably take this and secure it if he wants to keep fighting here. 'cause-
Yeah, there's a Lings streaming in, but just kind of single file here, and they're obviously going to get cleaned up pretty quick.
Yeah, the Zerglings have been a little bit not perfectly controlled. They're obviously doing a lot to buffer for the army and the Hydralisk. That's what really matters. But how many Zerglings have died? Can we hit Shift L? I think we're up to like 2,000 now at least. It's gotta be. Oh, here we go. Big engagement. Nice. Force fields.
400,
Cuts that in half.
400,
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
400.
Not 2,000.
Four-
What was it? 200 is what I meant to say.
400,
We're at 400. We're way more.
And 101 Hydras is probably the bigger story. Getting on these, and again, they still get a lot of force field power, but can they escape from this corner? Or are they going to have to like recall out? Nice little counterattack here again in the top, and Cobblestone has been able to take that top left base. I didn't think he'd actually be
You're
able to get
trapped
up
in
there.
here with me.
Didn't think he'd
Hydra's
get up
good.
there.
Oh, he's doing work up here.
Yeah.
Wow, these sentries are, they're kind of pulling Eris apart, actually. It seems like Eris doesn't quite know how to deal with the two-pronged attacks. There's sentries on both sides, and it's confusing him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I there hasn't yet been a turn into what I kind of expected, which is Eris eventually just going Broodlord and invalidating this.
Oh, yeah. That is the ultimate final boss for sentries.
Yeah.
You know, we've been saying, so far the sentries have survived. The lurkers and the queens and the infestors. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe not here. But up until this point, they had done a pretty damn good job of surviving.
Yeah, that was
through a
kind
lot
of like
that.
the main original army, but this one is basically the same size here now, and that will get another base. Eris is going to have reduced income here.
Is Eris going to run out of minerals? No.
Possibly.
He's got
It's
2,000
spent a
income
lot of
still.
them, but yeah, there's still a lot on the map. But Cobblestone now owns the more viable bases
Yeah.
going forward. I think Eris has actually maybe accidentally put creep tumors in the forward base that it may need in the future.
Oh, like in the position of where the base goes?
Yeah. Not there, but in the that one.
That one.
Oh,
no,
okay,
it's a
maybe
different one.
maybe it's out of the way. Yeah, I thought that was a tumor on the mini map.
False alarm.
So
We're
yeah,
good.
that's fine.
This might be the last stand Ender Sword.
Maybe. Let's see what the
It's-
lurkers do as they get close. Though Viper is interesting. I don't know. I guess it makes some
Lightning
sense.
Cloud, maybe.
Oh,
Ooh, Baneling's going to
Baneling's-
get a good connects here. Oh!
Baneling's like the least intuitive way to do this, given the force fields, but it kind of works.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Cobblestone expected it either, because
Yeah.
it's 18 minutes in. To have a Baneling transition is a little bit out there, I think, but it worked out super well.
Yeah, the
Not
lurkers,
a lot of
lurkers really getting a lot
Yeah,
done.
that's it.
This army dies, and yeah, we're down to 30 army supply.
What a game.
Credit to Cobblestone for sticking with it. I think at the point that this kind of started to work, had he decided to like transition into something,
Yeah.
like maybe could have won the game, but he kind of, it's clear he wanted to win this way. So good
I respect
sport.
that.
Yeah, good sport and respect the strats.
GG.
Yeah, as Eris breaks through, and that'll be it.
That was great.
Yeah.
Mass Sentry for the win. That was a really fun game. Thank you for that replay. What a highlight of Eris's capabilities, though.
Yeah.
Just on dealing with multiple attacks on multiple fronts, on dealing with weird encampments. There were so many cannons there, and
Yeah.
Eris did not crumple to it. You know, not too many units trickled down to their deaths. Really waited until there was a sufficient force, and actually waited until the sentries
The
were
army was
out of the
place.
way. Yeah, the
Yeah.
army wasn't there with it, and that's when Eris chose to go in and take that out. So some really nice decision making out of Eris all in all.
Yeah.
But great sentry play out of
Yeah,
our game
great
players.
great submission. I'd love to see
That's
that.
awesome.
So thanks Cobblestone for sending that in, because it's good to see people kind of send in and not not worry about just the win and loss, but like try something out that's fun and helps us explore like how the bots
Oh,
react
yeah.
to different things. And I think that sort
Yeah,
of
again,
creative thing is fun.
The authors benefit a lot from that.
Yeah.
So that's really important that people are doing that, I think. Good stuff. All right,
Indeed.
Ender Sword.
So,
It's all tied
so-
up.
yeah, I guess so. That's probably why we switched the order.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
To create tension.
Well, don't tell
Uh,
them that. No, I
what?
think we had a technical issue.
Yeah,
there.
there's
They were
something,
having
'cause
trouble
they-
getting- Sharkbot. No, Sharkbot was given. Didn't he give you trouble too?
No, Benbot gave me
Oh,
trouble.
Benbot gave you
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah. Every now and then the bots do give us a little bit of trouble, and even just with the replays.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hopefully get this loaded. I think that's why they give us a few extra minutes here.
Yeah.
Is they're trying to get it working
fix
properly.
something. Trying to fix
Maybe.
something.
But yeah, we got one more match here. This has been a great humans versus bots show match. We've seen some really cool stuff, some nice standard play, and some really cheeky things from both humans and bots alike. So great games, and we'll have more to come in just a minute. While we wait, you should all download the bots.
Yes.
There's a link somewhere. Go find it in the Discord, or it's pinned somewhere, I was told. Go play against these bots and send us some replays. It's a lot of fun. They're great practice partners if you're around the platinum, diamond, even master level, I would say.
Yeah.
Going up against Eris as a master, I think a lot of masters might struggle initially
Yeah.
until they do figure out maybe some cheesy counters or something.
Yeah, definitely pushes your multitasking a lot.
Oh yeah.
As they will do a lot of things. And again, if you're never going to get someone like, I think you literally cannot get a human that macros better because they cheat basically. They do the speed mining, so you're not going to play against the human player that starts out with the same initial economic advantages, as we saw in that Eris is going like 3 base immediately, super greedy, and it's still very hard to punish it.
Yeah. Well, it's all that extra mineral income just allows for it.
Yeah.
So that's very, especially for Zerg. Zerg is very mineral heavy at the start if you want to go macro focused. So
yeah, exactly. And a lot of the macro mechanics, like injecting and getting creep tumors going, like we obviously saw that Overlord.
Yeah.
That was kind of dropping queens places to like hyper extend where the creep can end up, and yeah, that's hard to play against because you're just not used to the creep being over half the map like 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that quickly. Yeah, for sure.
So.
All right, well, I think we're about ready here, unless somebody tells me otherwise in my ear. We're going to go ahead and kick off our last game, and we're all tied up again 2-2, so this will decide who wins the show match here. We've got, who is it? Shark. Oh, no, we saved Sharkbot because he's the finalist, man. He's the other finalist. So we got Sharkbot versus Cognite to wrap things up here.
Makes sense.
And then we'll see Sharkbot versus Tier in just a little bit. So let's go and hop into this first, though.
Sharkbot.
We've got Cobble in chat there. So he says that he has beaten all the bots except Micro Machine with sentries. So he has subsequently beaten Eris with that strategy. But yeah, cheers.
Took 3
yeah,
tries,
that's it.
though.
Cheers to him for sending in the first one, because yeah, that's always great to see. But yeah, cool. It's fun to play in that style too, of like just try an idea, see if this works, like whatever. It just makes
Test
it more
the
fun.
bot's limits.
Yeah, I'm sure if he just plays it straight up as a GM, yeah, I'm sure he can beat them.
Yeah, even Eris is as good as Eris is. Even Eris is susceptible to grandmasters. Wait, why does he keep saying this? Why are you talking to me so much? What's happening? I'm like, what's happening? I got it. All right, we heard stuff earlier. Sorry.
I wonder if this is. Yeah, that must be variable. I was going to say I played Sharkbot, and so first of all, it calls you out by the name of your computer. So like the username you have on your actual PC, but it also told me that it was going to format my C drive because that's the drive that I have it on. And
so it's just looking at what's your
it's looking at where you are. I just assumed it was generically saying that, but it was saying it based on what it's
where it's installed or whatever.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, Sharkbot, cheeky little chat bot there, does end up losing the probe actually.
Yeah.
To Cognites. Cognite didn't have to do a whole lot, but just attack move. It seemed like.
Yeah, it's, I think it's not used to encountering maybe resistance at this point. But yeah, Cognite new to scout out for cheesiness, and a sentry out and starting to poke at that first robo, but without a second one, and with just a single pylon there. This could be tough. This could just be shut down already.
This could just be a quick game over.
Yeah.
Well, Sharkbot does fall back. If it fails, Sharkbot does fall back and try something else.
Yeah, but it's a big investment.
He's got an immortal on the way, but it's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a big investment.
Pylon not in range there either.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Sharkbot might just lose here.
Will it cancel any of this stuff is one thing. Something that we've seen happen a fair bit too is this, where like those resources are now potentially just in that robo until it dies.
Oh, they're just wasted, yeah.
Because, yeah, a human would just hit cancel and divert it to something else, but now they're just sitting there spent until these stalkers finish it off.
I think he's got one more probe coming across. He was going to maybe try to...
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Get it rolling, but...
Hopefully,
nope,
hopefully he doesn't.
down.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't because it's dead. So,
That's really too bad because that's a huge investment. 2 Robo.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, that's a lot of money. Well, Sharkbot got caught cheesing, and again, that's that double-edged sword Sharkbot loves to live by. You know, these builds are so strong, and they really can get a lot of wins and totally catch your opponent off guard. Especially once you get up to those immortals, the micro out of Sharkbot is insane. So just the fact that Cognite pushed out and caught it, it's just a little unfortunate build order loss at this point now. Yeah, I think that
Stalkers
should
get
be
it.
it,
Unless something here surprises me, then yeah, you'd think that these Stalkers just kind of win.
Well, you would say like, oh, maybe the bot will have a bug and break, and the other one will win. But in this case, we'd need to have like a brain aneurysm or something for Sharkbot to win. I hope that doesn't happen.
Sharkbot just retrying this.
Yeah. He's gonna double down, double gateway. He's got the money for it. Sharkbot has a bank. He could actually build a couple of immortals. That would be hilarious to see if he can actually get something done with.
Yeah, if he gets them out, just kind of surprises.
But the main's done. This is it. Sharkbot will be able to maybe build 2 immortals. Actually, maybe like 3. Oh wait, is he even gonna have the supply? Oh yeah, he's got a lot of pylons.
Yeah.
Where the hell are all his pylons at?
Well, there's 2 with the Robos themselves.
The Robos. Okay.
That's all he
needs.
That's all he needs.
That's all he needs. There we go. 2 immortals on the way. Not quite enough for 1 more. It's unfortunate. If he had just built a couple less probes, he could have gotten 1 more. They're going to attack. Maybe.
He sees it, but now he's just kind of going to go home to try and defend the base that is already dead.
Oh, no.
2 immortals could have.
Yeah,
2 immortals could have like at least broken and started poking at the front line.
Well, I just would have forced a recall. Yeah, in the end, it's never going to win, but
yeah.
Cheeky attempt does not work out for Sharkbot.
Just the shutdown cheese. That's always the risk when the bot cheeses. It's often like predictable. Like if you know Sharkbot, like definitely you would check.
High chance of cheese. Yeah, always check for proxies against Sharkbot. That's just a good rule to live by.
Yeah, and there we
go. All right, well,
humans do survive.
Humans survive.
Yep.
We did it. Oh my gosh, we get to live free for another season or so. The bots will not take over the universe just yet.
Not quite.
Sword, or Drek, why are you shaking your head?
We were so close to being conquered. So close.
Oh, you want to be conquered?
Of course. I think an Overlord Sharkbot would be a fantastic prime minister.
There you go. Vote for Sharkbot.
He'd have to be better.
What could I say? Yeah. I think President Eris would be phenomenal. I think the bots ruling over the planet would be better for all of us. So I'm sad to see it, the outcome, but there's always another season. So that's it. But yeah, that's it. That's our exhibition. If you out there want to try, it's pinned into the chat. It'll be in the description. Get yourself one of the bots. Hopefully that we've made the instructions a lot easier every year for people to try. There is a dummy bot where you can set up yourself, your hotkeys and get yourself all set up so you don't have to worry about losing to the bots, because they do change their strategy based on where you are in the series. Andy, man, have you played the bots yet recently?
No, I don't play StarCraft anymore. I just watch it. I'm one of those.
Yeah, one of those guys.
Losers.
Yeah, that's okay.
I just pretend like I know what I'm talking about because I watch it a lot.
Yeah, don't be an Andy man. Then play the bots. Give it a shot.
It is a lot of fun. I should probably go download it and play it.
Even if you've played them last year, like the bot authors have given an opportunity to play. Like they've updated them every year, every season. They update them, upgrade them to at least be a little bit better. Especially if there's a patch to adjust to it. And actually, did you guys feel that the patch? I don't get it. Was there any patch-related stuff that changed up anything in these exhibitions? I don't think so.
I didn't notice anything. It doesn't have the big. Does it have the big patch stuff? So, yeah, it's not like the big new crazy.
Well, the bots play the humans in their whatever the current situation they're in. Like the bots
I didn't really notice it. Yeah, I didn't really notice.
Yeah. The bots will play humans in like the newest patch.
I think a lot of the patch changes at this point are just so small that it doesn't affect the basic functionality
Hmm.
for the most part of
Well,
units.
Cat Rock said that-
yeah,
that
it changes the visual.
It would
for a couple.
change,
The
well, for a few
Cyclones.
things like Cyclones
Yeah.
had
for a
like
couple units, but not for
13
most.
changes or something.
But we didn't see
Ridiculous.
Cyclones, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's why we didn't see a Cat Rock this time. Is that the Cyclones were
Yeah.
the change may have
A
been
lot
too
of the
great.
changes are like, Cyclones change their behavior, so that's totally different. A lot of the other things, while there's a lot of changes, it was like costs and
Yeah.
things like that, and so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And so hopefully next season we will be fully on the patch. This is I'm putting pressure at you to Cryptius if you're watching. We'll be hopefully all the bots will be on the newest patch, and we'll have a whole new map pool hopefully as well for everyone to see. But yeah, that's our exhibition. I'm hoping maybe if we have new ideas for different exhibitions, that would be good for 2024.
We're not done yet, so don't go
nope.
anywhere.
Absolutely not.
What else do we have, Endersword?
Well, the actual grand finals.
Oh,
is
just
coming
that
up.
little thing? Oh,
thing.
almost forgot about
That
that.
thing.
Absolutely. But before that, we got a break. We got
Yes.
a break, concession, let's go out to the lobby, whatever you need to do, get yourself a snack, but don't leave. Yeah, I know DreamHack is on, but we're the only ones with bots.
Is it? Do people actually watch DreamHack?
I-
still? Come
It'll be
on.
on.
When there's bots
They
on, why
do.
would you? Come on.
I agree with you, Andy. I agree with you. If when there are bots on, whatever, and DreamHack doesn't have the bots yet.
I'm gonna throw a little shit. DreamHack's probably one of my least favorite tournaments these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this can get fighting. This can get me like.
Yeah.
ooh.
I'm not a- or wait, maybe I'm thinking of an ESL.
I don't
Wait,
even
is that
know-
ESL.
It's
It
on
is
DreamHack, it's the same
ESL.
thing.
Whatever ESL.
It
yeah,
is. I don't think
ESL
they
sucks.
call it
I hate
DreamHack anymore, but it is. That's
Yeah.
it's always
Sorry,
been
it's
Atlanta
ESL
DreamHack.
Masters
Yeah, yeah.
at DreamHack. So
That's-
yeah,
You heard it here
Yeah.
first. We're better than ESL.
Yeah.
there you go.
All right, we're gonna go to a break, and then we will be back with our grand finals: Tier versus Sharkbot, best of 7. It's gonna be a doozy. Thank you, Drek, for joining us. This has been fun.
And don't forget to like this to help get more visibility on this
The
video
thumbs
so
up.
that we can surpass DreamHack.
Yeah.
One day we'll have our own bot
Sure.
hack.
The bots will be the dream hack.
Absolutely.
We'll have our own dream hack for bots, maybe.
hacking your dreams.
Hacking your dreams. All right, we'll be back in 5 minutes, everybody. Thank you for being here on our grand finals of ProBots. Make sure you stay tuned and tell all your friends to join us. We've got Tier vs. Sharkbot coming up in just a bit.
Why, hello there, and welcome back. Welcome back to 2023 Sideloaded ProBots, the last season of the year. I'm your host, Drekken, producer, and I am joined here on our impromptu, not real, casting desk / hosting arena with my casters Andy Man and Endersword.
Yo.
We're back.
We are back,
What up?
and we're at grand finals. This is it. This is 5 weeks plus 1 day, 5 weeks plus 1 day accumulated to this moment where we get to see a best of 7 between Sharkbot and Tier. And before we even get into
Awesome
that,
bots.
yeah, I don't think we've ever had a Sharkbot and Tier grand finals in the history of like ProBots. Like Tier is an
I don't
old
think
bot,
so.
but
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever
It's
met.
it's been a little bit since Tier last season had a shot at the finals against
Yep.
Harrison. He went down, but before that, it was I think over a year before we saw, or since we had seen Tier in the finals. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Tier-
excited. I am really hoping he does well
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, he went through like the transitional phase of trying to being the random bot, I think, first, and then kind of dipping his toe in the water with the Terran, but it wasn't fully. It didn't know what banshees were and stuff like that, which I think
Takes time.
maybe was just something broken because he had always had 3 bots, like you said earlier. But yeah, now it's really hit the stride.
Yeah. So before we do that, let's catch you all up to speed. If you don't know, if you're just tuning in and you're like one of those Super Bowl people who only watches the finals, you can understand how we got here. We had qualifiers, which was single elimination, and we had a round of 16, but it was like more of like a round of like 12 of single eliminations. And then it went to groups, and they kind of GSL style, and then the top 2, like winner and loser of those, went over here to play in the finals. And in the groups, that's when we got matched up with the top 4 from the previous season. And then here we are at the finals.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
recap.
Good
Absolutely.
summary. Good
Well,
summary.
we can actually,
Those are the
it
things
is-
that happened.
it was something that when we conceived of this format, we were like, okay, well, how can we kind of change it up? We had less time to do ProBots, and so we thought, well, what can we throw in here that would be able to shake it up, but also try things that were different. For the first time ever, we allowed bot authors to veto maps.
Yeah.
For also, people didn't quite notice that we modified the map pool at different stages, and it wasn't really brought up, but as the stages went on, we opened up the map pool, so the vetoes reduced, or like the impact of the vetoes reduced more and more as the stages went up. So even now, it's the full map pool, where even a stage before, one map was removed, and then even in the earlier stages, it was just the map pool was just much lower. Just to kind of allow, one of the things the authors gave us as feedback is that they wanted to focus a lot on their matchups and less on like the randomness of the map. So we thought that might be an effective way. And I don't know from your guys' experience if you saw that authors were able to narrow down their.
We definitely saw. I mean, we commented throughout the season that Ancient Cistern was always map one of every matchup, so it must be the one that was like not offensive to anyone, and it is a fairly generic one. So yeah, you could definitely see that, and we saw a lot less of some of the maps that had like a ramp up to the natural, for instance, and they tended to go for the flatter opener. Sort of thing. So yeah, you could see that.
One of the things that we were worried about, Agency Cistern did come up a lot, and we're like, oh, are we sacrificing the novelty for for stability? And I don't know if that translated in, and that would have to be from you guys, maybe your opinions of whether or not seeing Ancient Cistern 20 times in a row, but maybe stronger strategies was a good trade-off.
I think it's fine, like especially since we see multiple maps anyway. It was almost like Cistern became like the baseline one, and then we could speculate on how a change in map would create a difference in match 2 and match 3 if it went to that, and very often it did. So I think it kind of in a way worked to help that narrative of like, okay, here's it on the generic map everyone's agreed to. Now how does this map or this map or this map make it different?
Yeah. So here we are, Group A.
Recap in case anybody missed it at the beginning.
Yeah.
These were awesome groups. I liked this format, how we broke into the groups like this, and yeah, Sharkbot did a great job getting to the finals here. Took out some good bots. Xena has been really good the last few seasons, and
one thing I wanted to comment on Sharkbot's story is that Sharkbot, he's a stranger. Like Tier is no stranger to the finals and being in a final. Sharkbot making it up here is a little bit different in the sense that Eris wasn't in his way, and it was Phobos instead. Tier, when we go to Group B, you will see that he dominated his group 2-0-2-0, while Sharkbot kind of stumbled a bit on Phobos by going 2-1. Is that, do you think that's going to translate when we go back here in the finals?
I think it'll be given that Shark Knight does again different builds, and they're often quite different, as obviously we saw in that human match. Like a proxy robo is very different than a macro game. So often the bots that it's always alternated between, is it like a cheesy bot that wins or a macro bot that wins? And it feels like we're in the cycle where it's like the macro generalist wins. But it also makes a best of 7 more interesting because it can just change when it loses to a totally different style. So it makes it less likely that there's going to be like a 4-0, but it also makes it that just because you won one game doesn't indicate you're going to win the next. Because if you do a cheese and then your opponent counters the cheese, then you win, then you lose, then you win, then you lose. Like it's less consistent when you're relying on cheeses, and it's more easily sniped down.
So that's a question I was going to have, and I don't know if Andy, man, you might have any thought on this, is that Sharkbot comes across sometimes a little bit like a gimmick with the new cannon strategy. We know he has a lot of, you mentioned it before that you're excited to see him do Storm, but I'm wondering if he might be a little outclassed, in even your opinion, against someone like Tier and his he
can always bring a cheese to beat top bots. So he might have something specific planned for tier. A specific build that we just don't know about even.
One thing to bring up is that they had an update prior to coming into the finals, and since they only had a plan against 2, we did see in their opponents, Sharkbot versus Cannonana and Tier versus Benbot, they were very specific in taking out their opponents and making sure that they had builds ready for who they had to go against. What do you think in terms of their planning for each other?
I think Sharkbot maybe has a bit of an advantage there because no matter what, Sharkbot was going to play Kaninana, then a Terran. Whereas Tyr had to plan to play a Terran and a Zerg and a Protoss. So he didn't know, like Benbot's the one right in front of you, so you know that one. But then not only is it that you don't know your opponent, it's 2 different races that it could be. So if Tyr spent a lot of time looking for ways to deal with Kaninana, which is a big macro later game thing, that could be really time consuming. Versus if you knew it was Sharkbot, then it's a matter of programming a few things that are that just make sure it doesn't get the drop on you. So I think it was a tougher task on Tyr's side to know what Sharkbot was going to do, especially since Sharkbot may put something in that's totally novel that we haven't seen before. Whereas I think Tyr is going to play. I mean, Tyr has done that in the past too. Tyr has thrown in the finals, behind the mineral line cannon rush or a worker rush or something like that.
Oh my god, like we're seeing Tyr.
Yeah,
flashback.
Yeah, so Tyr is perfectly capable of doing that too, but I think where Tyr is kind of now the generalist dominant one, we'll see. Does he do that? Did he do that? Yeah.
I think we should get into this game and find out.
Yeah, let's just do it.
I'm going to bring up one last thing before I let you guys take it over. Is that Tyr, is an old bot. He's actually him and Micro Machine are the oldest bots in ProBots since 2018 in their first appearance. But in 2020, Tyr, won a ProBots, and Sharkbot has it. So I guess
we're won 2 ProBots.
Yes. 2021 in season 1 and 2. No, sorry, he lost against Eris in season 2, but then he won again later on. But Sharkbot, this might be his first ProBots win. What do you think his chances here?
62%.
I'll take 38%. I think it's I think Tyr's the favorite to me going in, but it's not like a dominating favorite. I mean, they're both good, and it will be like the thing when you're a cheesier thing, and I don't even know the Sharkbot is going to cheese. I'm just kind of assuming that he will, that he will try it. Is if you find that killer cheese that works, it can just work four times in a row. If the other bot has no idea that you're going to do it, and there's no counter to it, so
we'll see.
All right. So I'll take it away. I'll let you guys, the casters here, take you guys into the next game, Sharkbot versus Tyr. Let's take it away, casters.
I'm ready. Are we ready to hop into the game? Or do we have to?
I don't know.
Buy some more
okay,
time?
let's look.
Oh
at
yeah,
some
I
stats.
guess let's look at the stats.
They're both good.
They're both great.
Yeah.
I am assuming we're going to look at Sharkbot here first. He has been working out, getting extra swole for this season, as you'll see by his picture. Looking ripped. And yeah, I'm just curious to see what he's going to bring. I do think he's going to do his cannon rush to start. I think his update is going to stay true to that. And if Tyr can hold on and survive the cannon rush, then I think Sharkbot is going to bring us something just incredible. So
yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I think Tyr's going to fall for it. But,
well, I think that was one of Tyr's updates. I think he upgraded his cannon rush defense specifically. So if I'll have to pull those notes back up. I closed them accidentally. But anyway, I think Tyr's gonna give us a great show here. I think Sharkbot as well is gonna give us a good game. Who do you want to win? Let us know in the poll in the chat.
We have this time. We have the who do you think will win? We've abandoned the who do you want to. Well, for the humans and bots, we did the who do you want to win. For this one, we're doing the who do you think will win. But yeah, I kind of want to see that too. I want to see Sharkbot break out the cannon rush because it's kind of like the dance with the one that bring you sort of thing. That's what gets you here. Let's see that right away. see that get defeated and then maybe move on to something. Here's Tier, very similar, both bots and Elo, and yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. Like again, I expect something a bit more just generic macro win, play good out of Tier, but again, could totally have programmed in a snipe, totally programmed into cheese. On his own. Certainly, the Protoss version of Tier back in the day was full of that stuff. So,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, I think we're just about ready. Thank you, everybody, once again for being here with us and for joining us for this whole season. And thank you, all of our bot authors, all 16 of you. Awesome games this season. Some really cool bots coming at it this time, and some great new bots as well. We always get new bots. So if you are a new bot author and want to get involved, if you like what you see, go to aiarena.net, download the bot template we have below us in the links there, and get your bot up on the ladder. They have a few ladders that you can get joined on and start playing. And it's pretty easy now. We've really streamlined it. I think we have a few tutorial videos as well. There's a lot of frameworks available just to take a lot of the heavy lifting out of it. So you can just go and make a bot for fun. You don't have to do a lot of the really hardcore programming and stuff like that. People have done that for you. I mean, you can if you want. We do have some authors that are creating totally new bots in new languages that I'd never even heard of until this season. So that's cool too. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your bot.
Yeah, boats.
Whatever floats your boats.
Let's get in there.
All right, let's go. Game number 1 is about to start. Our grand finals here. It all comes down to this. This is a best of 7 Tier versus Sharkbot. Let's go.
Sharkbot. Tier.
Make sure you check out our fancy new website, ProBotsAI.com. You can see it right there above our bot names. Check it out. Support ProBots, get more content, all that jazz.
Yep.
All right, here we go. We're finally back to the bot scene. Hopefully you all enjoyed our humans versus bots games. If you missed any of those, definitely go back and watch the VOD. Go rewind a little bit. We had some really fun games this season. Went all the way to game 5. Usually one of the teams win. The humans usually win after like game 3 or 4. So that was kind of cool. See the bots go the distance. All right. What are these two bots
doing? So we got nice little scout in here. Neither of them look like they're up to anything too offside. Sharkbot is just building at home, getting a cyber core.
Oh, doesn't get the recall in time. A good attempt at a save, and it would have saved it too because the Reaper was going to come out and kill it regardless.
Yeah.
So that was his best chance at saving it, but doesn't quite pull it off.
Indeed, yeah. Robo there at home. SCV does get to see that and skedaddles on off. Tier is going for the expansion. So far, Sharkbot is not. And a Reaper will come in shortly with a Stalker on the way. And again, if I'm right, the Reaper tends to not be aggressive. We'll just kind of scout around and not really try and poke at anything.
Yep. Yeah, just does his little loop. Does distract some of the probes. These probes not as smart as yours, apparently. They fell for the trick. They thought something might happen, so they do chase the Reaper a little bit. But we've got a second base already on the way for both of these bots. Tears is quite a bit quicker, though. So yeah, that's going to give him a nice advantage, at least economically, for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. You got to stay ahead of your Protoss brethren who can chrono boost things out. But yeah,
the Protoss and the humans aren't brethren. The Protoss and the Zerg are brethren.
Well,
right?
Kind of. Yeah. Well, are they? There's something they're created by. I guess
the Zerg are like the quote unquote refined version.
Yeah, if Zelnaga are their daddy, then yeah.
Is Zelnaga human daddy too? Is that?
I don't think so.
I don't
think humans are always on their own. Yeah,
we're just our own thing.
Well, the humans were, of course, made by Jesus.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Sculpted out of mud or something. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, out of rib cages. That's right.
That's girls.
Oh yes, girls are
Girls
made
are made of ribs. Boys are made of mutts. Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Stim
Merry
is on
Christmas.
the way. Merry Christmas. Everybody. Stim on the way. So I like the tier is going to go for the bio forces yet again. We'll see how it works out because we do see what is that called? Robotics support bay or whatever.
Yeah. Facility
Coming down.
and
Robotics
robotics
bay.
bay. Yeah.
Wasn't it called the support bay at one time?
People always, I think that's what it is. I don't know if it was ever part of the name.
Robotics support bay. I think it was.
I think these two buildings are the one that even like professional casters still say. They'll just say like, "Here comes the Robo Bay," but they mean Robo Facility.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's facility.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, a bay is like an add-on, so wouldn't that be?
Yeah, it makes more sense
Makes
that
more
yeah, like the way that they're named is right, but it's not what people like. I just never hear anyone say Robo Facility.
Yeah.
They usually just say Robo, but if they elaborate, they say Robo Bay.
All right. Well, either way, we are gonna potentially have Colossus out. We've got the Forge coming out. Yep, first Colossus starts there. I saw the Warp Prism, so I was really hoping
Yeah.
for Colossus drops.
This could be
we've seen
fun.
Immortals, but
Yeah.
this is gonna be great.
Colossus drops are one of the more fun things to do.
I don't
in the
think have
game.
we seen a bot. I think we've seen it once in a bot game. I'm trying to remember how they dealt with it. I can't even remember who it was. It was probably Sharkbot versus somebody.
Yeah. We've definitely seen them done as like hot pickups in a normal fight and stuff. I don't like, but the aggressive, like, I'm going to go harass with the Colossus. Bots don't do harassment well. Like, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
They generally don't, unless it's like Route 1 harassment where it's like a Ling run by or something. They're not.
Well, you say
they're
that. The
often not
Sharkbot
good.
was one of the first ones
Sharkbot's-
to
yeah.
really get good with the oracles.
Yeah.
That, it started rough, but now he can harass with oracles pretty efficiently, I think.
Yeah, I
from
think
time to
he's
time,
he's
so.
the one that's kind of cracked it a bit. We've
He's
had a
starting to
few
really crack
try.
that harass.
Yeah, we've had a few try. We've had like bots in the past that do like Ling drops and things like that out of Overlords. But yeah, like this sort of thing. And like, I think part of it is knowing what to target and what's effective is the thing that makes this so hard because it's such a decision-making, risk-reward, what do I prioritize? Like it's a very decision-making based thing.
It looked like he was trying to hit workers.
Yeah, that's the first thing he targeted.
Was he prioritizing that?
I think that's what he's trying to do, and then he saw the army come in.
Just
and
got the hell out of
got
there.
out there. Yeah, robotics support bay was StarCraft 1.
Oh,
That
yeah,
makes
okay.
sense. Yeah.
That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Did a Colossus drop?
Nice.
Is that a euphemism for something? Here we go. Colossus is going to come in. Now, I don't think the Marauder shots can even hit the Colossus because it picks up before that projectile does go all the way. But the Marines and the tank should be able to. Here, let's see if it can. He's afraid to drop against it. Oh, no, it did connect.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
think he's a
I
little
think
too
it's
close to it.
pretty quick, but I think it's this closeness that he wants to have this at max range, and this thing's too close, and it's like, no. Yeah, I'll skate off into space here.
All right. Doesn't
Viking.
do a whole lot so far.
Viking may end this.
Oh,
Yeah,
dodged
as
it.
long as he keeps it alive, he's okay.
All right, well, it's a good attempt. Again, you got to start somewhere, and this is definitely one of the first attempts at some Colossus harass we've seen. And it's almost efficient, too. It's not dying, so it's not a complete failure.
Yeah.
It's just not able to find an opening. And maybe that's just Tyr being in the right place and able to push it away. Maybe another bot would fall prey to this harass pretty easily,
Yeah, you could definitely see it working. Particularly against potentially other races, other like Zerg or something. And yeah, if you don't deploy well, and especially if you kind of came in and then there's some bots that would behave that as soon as the Colossus went back into the prism, they're done.
Yeah.
Because there's no longer a threat. So then you pull back out again, it drops again, hits you at max range again, and pulls away.
yeah.
So you could definitely see some bots getting like really, really played by it.
Oh, that's awesome. We've got some people playing against the bots right now. Yeah, make sure you all go download them if you haven't yet. I'll say it one or two more times before we're done because it's a lot of fun, and you should all definitely take advantage of it while we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Olivier.
Yeah. Olivier, they
Sorry if
tried
I
it,
butchered
yeah.
your name there. Anyway, you tried it, and yes, Eris is very strong according to them. So thank you for going and playing them. And yeah, definitely go try it out, y'all. It's fun.
Indeed.
Anyway,
a lot
here we
of
go.
Colossus
Things
there.
are ramping up. Yeah, a lot of Colossus.
I love
Tempest
it's
2.
Colossus versus Thors. It's like we're playing some sort of Gundam game.
Right?
Yeah,
Now,
that's
how
fun.
good are the Tempests against Thors? I know Thors can do a lot of damage to massive air units, but will the Tempest range be enough, do you think?
I don't know. I think the Thors have pretty good anti-air
But
range.
it has more. I think the Tempest has
I
like
think
2 more
Tempest
range,
has
right?
more, but yeah, but you could definitely catch them and smack them. And meanwhile, the Tempest shot to Thors is not like it's fine, but it's gonna take like 12 shots to kill them or something.
Yeah.
Like it takes a while.
What is the Tempest does extra damage to buildings when you get the upgrade? What is it super
It
effective against
has,
something though? Isn't it good against armor?
Does it still have the massive thing?
For the massive? Yeah, I can't remember. Does it do extra damage against
I
massive?
forget where we are in the patch cycle now.
I know. That's the problem with not playing anymore,
yeah.
is I fall behind on these updates. Anyway, we're going to see a skirmish here, it looks like, very shortly. Tyr deciding to be the aggressor. We've seen these Thors absolutely demolish battlecruisers last week. So let's see if they can go toe-to-toe against these Tempests this time around. Now, there are going to be a lot of things supporting these Tempests. There's Colossus. Actually, there isn't a whole lot. There's Colossus and Phoenix. Where's the ground force? Okay, and Immortal's on the way.
Those two stalkers are the ground force.
That's the ground force. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Or the support force rather.
Yeah. The
there
gateway unit. Nice flank
Tyr coming
here.
behind. What is going on?
Nice
Oh no.
flank here, but they're just too squishy.
You know what? You know what doesn't beat Thor's? Colossus.
Yeah.
Colossus are good for that bioforce that we see demolishing the mineral line right now. If he had Colossus at his natural
in the front.
instead of
That's
flanking,
it.
that would have gone way better.
Yeah, the flank looked like a cute idea, but it was like the exact wrong thing that you wanted to attack. But obviously your problem is the Thors, and there's just nothing to deal with it. Yeah, Colossus, for all intents and purposes, are like paper mache Thors.
Man, these Thors are so freaking good. Man, we saw them absolutely demolish Terran last week. Who did you just play? Sharkbot or Tyr Benbot.
Yep.
So it's showing that Thors are also good against Protoss late game.
They're a good
mid
unit.
game, whatever this is.
Yeah, I've long praised them, particularly in bot games, because they're stable.
Yeah, they're so
Like,
hard to kill with
yeah.
a small force.
Yeah. And very
Just-
often, yeah, bots lose to like attrition and small, like, small losses, compounding. But yeah, they're just stable. They can just move forward.
So that being said, if Tyr just goes straight Immortal, I think that just hard counters it though. I do think Immortals stack way better than Thors in the long
Oh
run.
yeah, for sure. In terms of area too.
Just damage output. Yeah.
Just like that's one thing that's often ignored in the game is like DPS per square meter.
Square meter.
Like that's the thing that makes Marines really good, and it's part of the
Oh,
thing.
I see what you're saying. Like
It's
how
part
much,
of the thing that makes for like
fire
an
you
area
have
of
for an area.
space. How much damage can
how
you
many
do?
units can you fit
Yeah.
into it, and how much damage do they do? Yeah. I see.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Thors are really, really strong, but they take up space. Immortals are like, a fifth of that
Compact
size,
Thors.
and
Yeah.
and you can just bam, 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 bam.
Indeed. All right. Well, that was game one. Again, this is a best of 7. Now, I do find it interesting. Sharkbot did not go for that cannon rush.
Yeah,
So already switching it up. It might be a build later down the line should things progress into that direction. But I already like that Sharkbot has tried something a little bit different to start things off against here.
I think it's neat. I wonder if that was designed specifically for Tyr because it didn't seem to be. It just seemed like here's a build, try this build.
Well, maybe
But-
Tyr wasn't doing Thors as much until
Yeah,
recently,
maybe.
you know?
Even if not, I don't know that was going to win against just kind of a lot of bio with Marauders in it. Because there just kind of wasn't. It started off harassy and like, big and ranged, but it was like never. That would have been hard to stand in a fight versus almost any composition.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe he just never got to where he was. Obviously, he was going to be able more Tempest than that, but yeah. But we'll see in game 2
we'll see.
what changes.
Indeed, let's get it loaded up here. I think we're just about ready. Yep, let's go and hop into game 2 and see what happens. Maybe. Oh, we're not ready.
Alright.
Just kidding.
All right.
The timer lie. I thought the timer always told the truth.
It does not. One of the timers tells the truth. One of them always lies. What do you ask the timer to determine which one is the truth teller?
I would say there is an answer to that, but
Yeah.
did you sleep with the other guy's wife or something?
Yeah. Exactly. I think you ask. It's along those lines. Yeah. You
All right.
I think the generic
Game
thing is you always
number
ask,
2.
what would the other guy tell me that the time is?
Oh, there you go.
That's what it is. But then it's a non-binary. So
Can you even read? Are they analog clocks? Are they even
It could
set
be.
correctly?
well, that's true too. It may
What
not
time is
be.
it? That's a good
Yeah.
question. Oh, there you go. Man, just
So
ask
you
them
can
what
say
time it
what
is.
time it is.
But what if you don't know what time it is?
Yeah, what if you don't have a watch? What if, because if you just have a watch, you could just ignore these two lying clocks and
Yeah.
carry on with your life, really. No
Yeah,
one told you.
those really aren't the best things for that
Yeah,
puzzle, are they?
no.
Yeah, you need
No,
griffins
it's
or
not
something.
really.
All right, we're ready. Game number 2. Thank you all for your patience. Let's go ahead and hop into it.
Sharkbot. Tier.
I agree with that. I don't think time exists. I do believe time is a man-made construct because it's always now. It doesn't matter if time's moving faster over there or slower over there. It's always now.
It is.
Doesn't
always
matter
now.
where you are.
Yeah.
You know,
But it's more
so
what the future. Well, I think
time is a lie. It's a mental construct.
For us it's a mental construct. For Einstein, I think it was a spatial dimension. Is space-time. Is that there's never a time without a place, and there's never a place without a time.
Exactly.
And therefore you could not separate the two concepts. And then plus time is not local. Actually, someone recently may have.
Oh, here it is. It's time,
Oh,
Ender Sword,
okay.
for
Yeah.
a cannon rush.
Here
That's
we
what
go.
time it is.
Indeed. And Sharkbot warping in with those Protoss black holes of something. But
Now, yeah, how much of a gravitational force do those things?
I
Put
don't
out.
know. They seem like they seem actually maybe more like they're white holes because something appears out of them.
Oh.
So yeah, really good SCV response to this. Right
yeah, a
away,
lot of
though.
SCVs here. Oh,
So-
he gets the. Oh, he doesn't get the probe. I thought he got him caught there.
Okay, is that going to be
Sharkbot's
enough
slippery.
to? He's got to get like another 1 or 2 down because that one's not gonna finish in time to do any good. I think it'll get. Oh, he pulls away though. Oh, I think no, he should have kept going
Yeah, I think
because
he could've
it
gotten
would
that.
have got a shot or 2 off, but he would have got it.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, like you said earlier, though, you don't think it's going to work out that well because of the distance, right? Or no, you were saying that against humans.
Yeah, against humans,
think.
they would just look at this and be like, okay, so I'll worry about that in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
so I'll just go around you, and we'll see what tier does to react. This is on the map that in our semifinals, it's got that weird little friggin' ancient terrarium there that gets in the way. And that could make it really hard because he struggled. That was the one game that he almost lost
Yeah, I remember that.
because of that structure being in the way.
That was against
Kaninana,
Zerg,
yeah.
So yeah, against Kaninana.
Yeah, and it's even harder against Terran. Like
Yeah,
you
because they have
get
the range.
you get one tank, and this is kind of all invalid.
Well, I think that is what Tier's doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
we see
he's
the tank
making
in
one.
production now. So
Yeah, so like range, you're always going to outrange them with the tank. So yeah, you're just
yeah,
kinda
this definitely
shelling out.
doesn't pressure a Terran as much as a Zerg,
No,
does it?
it is. I don't know if he's forced this response, but Tyr is on one base at least, and he's actually, like, he's at least responding to this being a thing.
Yeah. Sharkbot, I think Sharkbot's looking around. I don't know if he actually started scouting around, but he's suspicious that Tyr might have a base somewhere else. So Sharkbot has recognized that Tyr's still on one base.
Yep.
I believe because of that. So
Tank there, interestingly, way far back though. He's got to move. Maybe he'll do that with like the second one, but yeah, fun. Yeah, certainly economy in Tyr's favor at the moment. Both of them are just kind of with a maxed out mineral line, but Sharkbot, that Stalker, is the only unit out on the map at the moment.
you know, despite there being a proxied cannon rush, this is a pretty low action start to this. Tyr playing much safer than other bots.
Yeah, because he's
beginning of
not
this.
getting baited into it. This second tank is gonna tell the story, but if it sits way back like that, not provoked.
Yeah, why aren't they getting in range there?
Yeah,
I guess he just wants to secure the natural. That is interesting though that he's securing the natural but not expanding to it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I lied. There's a command center on the way now.
Yeah,
Just
he
close it,
will
okay.
now, but
Yeah.
yeah, that is interesting. He's
Slow
not,
and steady wins the race, eh?
yeah, he could just have this go forward, but again, now he's kind of coming in with the Marines there now and then, but it's the tanks that needs to come close.
Well, they'll slowly inch their way. One tank at a time, they will move their way towards the cannons.
I'm not even sure what those Marines are doing because they're not shooting. The Stalker comes in and they went to forward to hug it, but they're not shooting.
And then just
at it.
didn't shoot anything? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's funny. Yeah, the Marines just doing their thing. All right. Well, we got more tanks on the way. I think we
Okay.
are going to hit this massive tanks that eventually Sharkbot won't be able to
What
do
are
anything
they
about
doing?
if it ever
That's-
pushes out. What are you
It's
doing?
very strange. I mean, that
Just
was
playing
to get
defensively. All right.
that was to get out of the way of the command center, which I get that part, but then, okay, maybe now they're gonna move.
Ah, the Marines are bait potentially. Ah. That could be it. Here we go. Tanks
Okay.
aren't even going to siege. They're just going to, there we go. One
Now
siege.
they're-
They're just going to start fighting.
Yeah. So now we're triggering everything,
Yeah, this
and
should
there's
clean
no
it up here.
yeah, and they are targeting the farther back cannon. And yeah, we'll break out now. Hopefully Sharkbot will know to like how to roll out of this and keep something going, because we've seen this before and he never really gets off the one base.
Yeah, this is cleaned up. All right, well, Sharkbot usually has a follow-up, but I guess maybe it won't trigger until this all gets cleaned up or something.
Yeah, now that there's
Doesn't
no
have natural,
cannons,
you
he'll
know.
just move in without fear. Attempted warp in directly into tank fire, and there's, yeah, the first one. I think this will just be a rip this down and push. Unless it has something to pull back that timing.
Yep, no, that's gonna do it. Looks like Sharkbot has just kind of given up all hope. He does have a unit or two coming out, but there's no base on the way. There's nothing. Yeah, we're just gonna fast forward here to, I believe, a second tier win, one step closer.
Yeah,
Victory.
It's gonna chain build this pylon, and that's it.
All right, well, Sharkbot is going to do his. Oh, I know what's happening next. If I recall from the update, and we'll see if it's true. I think we're going to see Tyr struggle a little bit more next game.
Maybe
We'll see.
would be more entertaining. Yeah, Sharkbot. Obviously, just in this, it's just kind of that, and then there's no follow up at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, now, according to the update, we're going to start seeing things like High Templars enter Sword. So I think something different might happen here.
Yeah.
Especially before the Thors come out, High Templar can act. So even tank lines, High Templars can help to break through them.
Yeah.
Pretty efficiently. So we'll see. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But
True.
Tyr's looking so good, man. I thought Tyr was going to win it all, and so far my predictions are panning out.
Yeah.
This is the season of Tyr.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I just like there's not a lot of like there's so much unit usage, and he's just going for like these durable things and controlling it well, and yeah, just kind of dominating in kind of a classic way, but using some of things that have not really been used too much in this tournament. So Thor's obviously being one of them, Ghosts being another thing. You know, yeah, just kind of dealing with things appropriately. And I think when you throw unit mixes like this, like Thors are hard to deal with, like unless somebody is, if you've made the wrong army, it just dies. Like you can't just kind of out macro it. You have to have the tools to be able to go after specifically what you're going after. And yeah, so it's tough to improvise your way in.
Yeah, Tier has done really good this season, or this year in general. Yeah, making it to the finals last season as well.
Yeah.
And then getting here and doing really well so far against Sharkbot. But hey, awesome. I'm so glad that Sharkbot finally made it to a grand finals here. It's super fun to see, and I'm excited to see another build out of Sharkbot. That is one of his signatures, is that he has a lot of builds that he can pull off. Tier as well. Tier has always kind of been known for having a lot of builds. Obviously, more so as when Tier was Protoss, but no, this is really cool to see Sharkbot able to make it to the finals finally and give us some fun games here. Trying some different strategies too. I like that. You know, it's how you're going to advance these bots and make them better, is by taking some risks and trying some new things that might not pan out initially. You know, like a Colossus drop harass or anything. But once you refine it and get that working, it can be such a strong tool in the hands of the bot. So. Anyway, game number 3, let's hop into it and see what happens. Tier's got to get 2 more to win, so Sharkbot still has a couple chances to pull things back. Let's go.
Sharkbot. Tier.
Going for some sort of proxy here again, but farther away. Oh, man, I like this.
All right. A little bit more aggressive this time around. This doesn't feel like a High Templar opening, but could be.
Just proxy the 2 gateways, wait.
This build. All right.
Wait 8 minutes and storm. Yeah, exactly. So the pylon on the high ground there is just to make sure that Tier cannot wall off, basically.
And it does keep Tier kind of busy, I think, at home. It keeps Tier from not doing anything, where sometimes when these bots don't have something to do, like focus on this pylon, as you can see the SCTs do it, they're going to go scout around instead.
Yeah.
So this could potentially be keeping Tier just too busy to even scout, you know?
Yeah,
he's too worried about getting cannon rushed.
But Tier immediately recognizing that something is wrong, and maybe not immediately, but quickly, and putting down the bunker. It'll certainly be in plenty of time here, and this is the type of thing that a lot of bots just don't have the wherewithal to do. Like, to be like, hey, something, and I don't know if it's specific, like you're like, hey, this build is this, or whether you're like, hey, I don't know what's happening, let's bunker.
Yeah. And Marine's doing a little weird glitch.
You could easily have something along the lines of, hey, I wanted to wall off. If something has prevented me from walling off, then I bunker.
Yeah. Well, the Zealots are here with a couple of probes, so, well, not to be probed much longer. Here we go, 2 Marines out of the bunker, need to get back home. It's actually a good thing that this wall-off didn't finish off. You could have potentially trapped those Marines out. We've seen that before out of certain bots, where they just lock their units out.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so yeah, the Sharkbot not even recognizing the bunker as a threat, is just attacking the supply depot here, so these Zealots are just forfeit, and yeah, it's one of those rushes where you should probably sit back and wait until you have a good amount of them, and then catch your opponent by surprise. Because by this point in time, there's going to be Marines. There's going to be a Reaper around. So sending in just a couple Zealots isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, there's a weird risk there, because you saw like the pylon go down, is if you don't come in right away, nothing stops them from just putting a barracks in that hole, and then you're dead.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to poke, but then it's the lack of acknowledgement that there's a bunker there
Yeah.
is more the
That's
like
the real killer.
you got to go up and be like, okay, there's a bunker. Now I'm gonna hold off and wait till there's like 6 of
Yeah.
us. Like I think that's more because if you could just get walled out otherwise. But yeah, it looks like this is gonna be another quick one.
Yeah, Sharkbot's just being a little too aggressive for his
yeah.
own good this finals.
Yeah, and Tyr just responding appropriately. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Just
there's
normal.
2 zealots came in. There were only 2 Marines. If the bunker was not there, then you are in some trouble. But the bunker was there.
Yeah, he was able just to retreat and hop in and bada boom. Now we got Reapers out. That's going to hard counter any more zealots.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could probably fast forward this one a little bit. I think it's. Oh wait, never mind.
He's gonna
He's
try.
got a second base.
He'll try and roll anyway, which is
Yeah,
fine.
I thought we were just going to see an all in
Yeah.
till death here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's good. Okay. So we won't just get the nothing.
The total flop here. Okay. Okay. It's not over yet. I'm sorry. Sharkbot does have pretty good comebacks when he can pull them off. So we'll see what happens here. Tyr is going to be a little bit passive for the time being. That will give Sharkbot a little bit of time to maybe get that expansion saturated. Oh, I don't know. I feel like right as he starts transferring workers is when Tyr's going to head over that way. That's my prediction. Because what do we have? Oh, no. Factory's just on the way now, so no tanks just yet. Still see a bio push. Yeah. Well, things are actually going to even out a little bit. Yeah, it hurts losing 9 zealots, but that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's certainly not.
It's not over.
Yeah, not the end of it. There's definitely ways to go from here that will be potentially fine.
Well, it helps that he hasn't lost these gateways. That's that's one of the bigger investments. If these gateways had been scouted and Tyr was cleaning them up right now, well, that's what 500 some odd more minerals you got to spend to replace all that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
expensive,
at some point those will
helps.
they probably will be taken out. That's kind of
but if you can get a few rounds of units out of them,
yeah,
then
exactly. You
that's
get
something.
the use out of it right now without having to do that while you're teching up is probably the main thing. Good little bioforce here. Tyr just going for a bio ball thing, particularly that strong when you've kind of got your opponent on the back foot already and just not really fully on like Sharkbot is definitely playing catch up, which is
doing it the
leave
right
him
way
vulnerable.
too.
He is, yeah. He's trying to. He's like, I'm not going to defend myself. What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's your game, Ender Sword.
I don't know what happened there. I think something auto played on a web browser.
That's fine. That happens.
Yeah. But just this biomass, I mean, a large number of this is Reapers, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, if you just hit with a big bio ball, then that's kind of going to be pretty impactful. But yeah, Sharkbot is just like, well, I got to catch up, so I'm just going to put down another Nexus when my natural isn't even, like, there's not
So
even
it
anything mining
actually
minerals there.
it worked out perfectly because
Yeah.
Tyr, instead of getting aggressive off 2 base, is also going to get a third. So Tyr will actually be a little bit slower on that third base now. So that's going to give Sharkbot the chance he needs to start catching up, I think. And we see a fleet beacon with air upgrades coming down, Ender Sword. Is that Tempest or Carriers? I think it's going to be Carriers this time.
I
'cause
hope
he's got
Carriers.
oracles.
Yeah, I hope Carriers too. I always just like Carriers better.
With the upgrade, it's got to be Carriers.
Yeah.
Anyway, here comes the Oracle. We were just talking about him. Let's see if they can get anything done. He's going to go for a stasis, but it gets denied. So nope, nothing
It's
for
attack
us
quick.
here.
Yeah, and I think a shame
response
because
out
the
here.
the actual attack beam would have been potentially a lot more effective.
Oh,
there.
yeah, he could have gotten a couple kills for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Nice defense out of Tyr, though.
Yeah. Swing around.
Oh, I've been sitting here too long. Oh. I woke up this morning and sat down at my computer and
I basically did the same thing. Just waited for this to start, of course, as I'm sure many viewers did. That's the highlight. Yeah, so it is Tempest. He's also making another Oracle. Oracle can be nice.
Yeah,
I think we saw him do the Oracle tagging, like the Revelation, to help the Tempest
for
with
the
the
Tempest,
Vision.
yeah, to spot for him.
So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I'm just kind of worried about overall lack of army. Also, the way I don't think the build is like meant for this. So like the way that the army is rallied, the Tempest is kind of trying to rally to the army, and the army's trying to rally to the Tempest. But of course, it's not. It's not really working with the mindset of, oh, and my gateways are all across the map. So cool. 2 more Tempests coming out. This is not a bad place to stage, though. It's nice to have this. You've got the shield batteries here to support. This is a good fallback point. It's a reasonable angle, particularly if you go in Tempest and he hasn't taken this base. You can just kind of poke into the main, too, and start attacking infrastructure if they're going to leave you there. And you can kind of provoke them to come into you. A single Thor there now, though. And as that count gets up, I think that's going to be more devastating. But if you play this cliff into the main base, you could potentially confuse some Thors and kind of just make it hard for them to find the right angle to come at you.
Yeah, it's kind of what he's going to have to hope for. I feel like we're going to get a repeat of game 1 almost, where Thors are just going to decimate.
Yeah, just bop, bop, bop.
Bop, 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 one Tempest at a time. And
the shield batteries aren't good against that sort of like massive damage.
Oh, yeah, it's too much output. Yeah, it's too much damage output.
The CC here is going to provoke a fight. Tempest a little ahead of themselves at the moment.
They're going to kite back nicely. They got a couple shots off on the Thors, but now they're starting to shoot at Marine.
Yeah.
He really needs to target the Thors down first with the Tempest while he can.
Nice stasis, though.
But hey, that's a hell of a stasis. All right. Take it.
Nice stasis. Nice
kite, Tempest, kite. So we've talked about the Tempest and how they have kind of unlimited kiting potential as well, and how some bots still struggle with them, even though we don't see them that often.
Yeah.
And this could be a good map for this because of the terrain. Oh, those Thors have so much range, though. Yeah. Do they have the same range as the Tempest? I thought it was a little less.
The same. It feels like it might be, but yeah, I thought it was less too. I'm not sure the range on the weapon. The 2 modes.
Oh, but it's gonna not bode well. 1, 2.
Gonna just leave that one alive for no reason.
So Sharkbot has 14 army.
Yep.
Currently. He's got a lot in the production tab. A lot of things coming out. A lot of upgrades. A lot of infrastructure. But you got no army. So yeah, that's just gonna be GG. He's got Storm on the way. He's getting all the pieces, but
yeah, I don't think he intended to. Like, it was the CC floating around that provoked the fight, and I don't think he intended to do that. Like that, he wasn't like that. Now's the time to go with 3 Tempests and like 8 gateway units. He intended to get more of this stuff and go. But yeah, I don't know that anything was gonna deal with the Thors anyway, though. He was switching to a few carriers, but it's just not what you need. Like you said earlier, like you kind of need Immortals is virtually the only answer to this.
At this point, I think that is the only thing that's going to stop Tier is just Immortals. A lot of Immortals.
Indeed.
Maybe some Disruptor. Maybe he nails some Disruptor hits or something.
Yeah.
The Thors don't dodge Disruptors
not
very
too well, but they also
need
a few hits. I'm not sure how many hits you need. I would guess 3 to kill it, but
3, I think.
yeah.
All right, well, Tier is just 1 game away from sealing the deal here and taking our grand finals for himself, which I think it's a bit overdue. Tier has been doing super well recently and has always performed really well. So it's really cool to see Tier kind of coming back after a little bit of a hiatus, and then did really well last season, and now just absolutely crushing it, and just 1 game away. And Sharkbot, the ball is in Sharkbot's court. Sharkbot has been trying to set the...
Can almost play anyway from there and win. But Sharkbot's at least been throwing 3 different things, and I assume we're going to see a 4th different thing right now.
Probably.
And see what's going on. He was trying to get to Storm by the end of that. If we saw a similar thing without the proxy this time, would that make...
I think if he just plays a standard game, I think that is going to give Sharkbot his best chance here.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Game number 4. This is potentially it. 1 last chance for Sharkbot. If he doesn't win here, then it's all over. Let's see what happens.
Sharkbot. Tier.
All right, here we are. Golden Aura. Haven't been on this map in a little bit, it feels like.
Yeah, not one of the most picked ones, but of course we're going into our 4th game, so we're gonna see some that we haven't as much. So yeah, what's going on? Sharkbot has.
There we go.
Yeah, just expanding. The
Macro.
first buildings in his base, up in the top, top right of his base. Yeah, so just macro versus macro should be a good way to end it.
Well, potentially keep it going. Maybe not. Maybe not even end it.
No.
If Tier can't go toe to toe against the Sharkbot macro, and again, Sharkbot can get into that late game scenario, and does really well with late game units when he has them. Last game he just didn't have them, so couldn't do much. But no, I think Sharkbot absolutely has a fighting chance here. Still can definitely bring us into a couple more games. It's all gonna come down to his engagements. Yeah, he's just been choosing cheesy, aggressive builds that haven't done what they're supposed to. Yeah, so I like this choice to go just full macro, get a really early base, and just make something happen.
Yeah, let's see him beat you straight up, and then we will have basically tried everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just about feels like. These are, even though these are a little bit one-sided, I love that Sharkbot is trying these strategies to see what sticks.
Well, they're checks. They're almost like knowledge checks, or like just preparedness checks. Like, do you know how to deal with the cannon rush? Tick box, yes he does. Do you know how to deal with the proxy zealot? Tick box, yes he does. And that sort of thing's fine. It's the type of things that a lot of bots fail at, obviously. That like, no, I just don't have a specific defense for this, so I'm gonna lose. And Tier just has those things. Tier's been around for like 5 years.
Oh,
so
however long we've been doing this.
Yeah. So
pretty much.
Is how it is.
Is how it is. All right. Well, I'm rooting for Sharkbot here just to give us a couple more games at the very least. But I am so glad that Tier is doing so well. It's really cool to see, especially when you switch races like this. It can be hard to immediately start doing well. But Tier, and I'm not even gonna try to say Hertin. Is that it? Hertin. That's my guess. Anyway, authors of Tier, both doing a phenomenal job. Really talented authors. Really brought us some good stuff these last couple seasons. Anyway, all right, things are shaping up close enough. All right, I'll take it. One day somebody will tell me. One day. Robo facility on the way again. So we're going to see, I guess, Colossus one more time. He's going to try to get, and they're going to be earlier this time, and he'll have a lot more support for it because there's a third base on the way already. So economically, Sharkbot's going to be in a great spot to support a gateway Robo army. We'll see if he can make something happen with it. Is he going to do Colossus drop again? Is that his plan?
It looks like it, given that he's chrono boosting out that War Prism. So, could be an attempt at that, but maybe a higher economy attempt at that this time. But Tier's already. I guess he had this before too. Like, had a pretty big bio army, but looks like he's moving out already.
Yeah, he hasn't been pressured, so nothing really slowed him down. So I feel like this is Tier moving at the pace that Tier wants to. This is everything's moving according to schedule. Here comes my first attack.
Yeah, and Sharkbot
this actually could just end the game.
Yeah, he just doesn't have anything. If this gets jumped on, like five stalkers, it's not gonna deal with that much.
He's gonna see it with the Phoenix, but it's not gonna give him a whole lot of advance warning. Gives him more than he would have if he would have just seen it right at his front door.
Yeah, there's no
The Reaper actually pulled the units back up to safety where they can actually kite more effectively, I think, up onto the high ground. Here we go. It's all going to come down to the Stalker Micro. There is no concussive shell, so the Stalkers will be able to pull back as efficiently as possible. There's just not enough of them. The Colossus will... Is the Colossus going to save the day, Anderson?
It'll eventually get out, but there's like 7
He
Marauders
can lose
here.
some workers here. There's a lot of bases. The probes
Yeah.
can be replaced.
If he can stabilize, then yeah. I just don't know they will. And here comes like Colossus without range.
Buffer with the probes.
I'd feel better
Oh
if the
no!
I'd feel better if the Warp Prism was over there for that reason. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he needed that. Oh no! It could have kept cutting like back around the mineral line, but I guess it thought the safest path was back around or something. Oh,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. That was his one saving grace, I think.
Yeah, he's still trying to stabilize here. There's a lot of like low-ish units, but some of them are still full, and there's still reinforcements coming. So pretty soon, another group of 5-6 units is going to join here from the north. And,
Great Warp Prism micro though.
Yeah, it is. If only the Warp Prism was with the Colossus.
Then this would
Then I
actually
think-
still be a game.
Yeah,
I think.
you actually could hold it with that. But even this, like the shield batteries at like the third base on the far side, if he had been maybe a little more defensive with it, could have. But he tried to kind of get away with some economic cheese this time.
Yeah, I
And,
think if he
and
had
got
just done
caught.
2 base,
Yeah.
that would have been better. Yeah, he got caught hard.
Yeah.
Well,
Even-
that
even
is
those,
it.
Even those Marines there kept doing this thing where they want that Warp Prism at the expense of their own lives.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep, Sharkbot cannot afford another worker, cannot build anything at all. 2 Stalkers and a Warp Prism with a Dream, but I fear that will not be enough to stop a full-fledged, full-run in Terran here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have our grand finalist, our winner of our grand finals here has fought valiantly and worked so hard to get here. Congratulations, Tier and Team Infinite Improbability Drive on your great success here. Awesome stuff. Great games, even though they were a little bit one-sided. It was really cool to see Sharkbot try a bunch of different
Yeah,
strategies.
they weren't.
and
They weren't boringly one-sided. It wasn't. The
it wasn't
same
boring
thing.
one-sided, not at all.
And it was like you passed the test one-sided of like you were tested with a cheese. You passed.
You
the
are
test.
worthy.
Yeah, yeah. So there we
Congratulations.
go. Great season, abbreviated season. I think we're going. Actually, Drekken's here again, but
Taking a
I think
reset,
we're
Drekken.
going back to the full format, longer format in
Yep.
2024.
This was just
Yeah.
a fun little, a side-loaded, as we called it.
Mhm.
Fun little, shorter season since we were crunched on time. And good job, Drekken. You pulled it off well.
Thank
How
you,
do you
thank
feel?
you. I feel feedback is really what I'm looking for. Like, if I'm gonna give you guys here on the stream a little bit of like insight. What I was hoping to is that maybe this could be a future format for an IEM style. If we have our 3 major ProBots and then one that just pulls from all the ProBots done through the year, this could be a format for something like that. I was kind of curious if a different type of format that kind of was short but very concentrated would be really cool. How it would look on stream, I was curious, and so I think it was a good experiment, and I'm very happy personally how it turned out. But I'm always looking for feedback from casters, bot authors, you guys watching on the stream. What do you think of Sideloaded and how it turned out?
Let us know. You got a forum right below us. A great place to let us know your thoughts.
Absolutely. You
Handy
can
that.
put it in your comments. Put it in the comments. Let us know how you liked it. And like, obviously, I think you guys, especially on stream, you're gonna say you liked it. Casters, you guys have given the praise to it.
Yeah. So far, we like it, and the winner liked it.
It's all right.
So
I can always
So
count on
it's
Andy
kinda-
Man to give me the
It's
truth.
all No, this is fun. I did really like this format, and it'd definitely be fun to bring back. Maybe we invite like all the winners from the last 2 years or whatever.
Yeah, like
Do a fun,
yeah.
show match tournament type thing.
Yeah. And
Or
I thought,
even just start at the round of 8 and go from there or something.
yeah, so I can't say that this format specifically will be back as is. We might do a side loaded, every couple of months or whatever to experiment outside of the main format, because I think the current ProBots season format is not only stable, it's kind of where we want it, the right balance of updates, the right balance of sort of predictable but not predictable, which is something we try to balance when we
I'd
do a
say
ProBot
this was
season.
a pretty unpredictable season. We had none of our normal bots in the finals.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Even
and that's
in the top in the top 4, it almost wasn't any of our normal bots.
Yeah.
it's the kind of hard thing we do because they are bots, unlike humans who are incredibly unpredictable. What will happen? We have to balance the format with, you know, expected outcomes versus, you know, how do we make it a little bit harder for bot authors, but not too, you know, we also have to balance things like snipes, how well, you know, how well can a bot be sniped, but we also don't want to rule out sniping.
Yeah.
So there's, you know,
A
there's
lot of things to think about.
a lot of things to think about. So you, the audience, you guys watched it. We love to hear your feedback. And authors, we love to hear your feedback too about what you thought of this season.
If you
And
think I eat crayons, let me know. You know,
don't
we
don't let-
want to know your thoughts. Let us know.
and yeah, and if we did something live, you know, if you would come out, let us know. I want to hear all
Yeah,
these things.
live finals
Yeah,
would
a
be fun.
live finals on a stage, our own dream hack with blackjack. And never mind, but you know, all the good things.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah, I know. And I want a live final so bad. I dream of live finals. I love live events. I think it's a great time to get together with everybody and just the after parties and the before parties. All those things are my favorite parts of live events. So.
Then why are none of us in Atlanta?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Good question. I don't know. It's exhausting to fly.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cool. We can
I
wrap it.
am very happy with how things turned out.
Cool.
I'm very thankful that we have such an awesome audience. Thank you all for being here with us. And thank you. We got to shout out our production. Drek won't say it himself, but Drekken worked really hard, as did our other production guys, Ranger UK and
Magneth
he left.
and Ryoshi.
Magneth. That's right. And Rishi. Yeah, we got a few behind the scenes people working really hard. So make sure y'all say thank you if you get the chance to them. They did a great job this season. I was very impressed.
And also to our designers who designed our new.
designers.
Yeah, who designed the
All our
new the artwork, the
Oh
overlay.
yeah, is that
and-
available now for people
Yeah.
to download?
Yeah, so they'll be available to members of ProBotsAI.com, and then also I'm going to let it for people who subscribe to the YouTube membership, give it to you guys too. So those are options to get some of the. You saw the Marine, just a little bit of secret that is generated by AI this time around. Much like, you know, we're an AI show. Thought let them get involved. But the animation is done by human, so there it's a mixture of the two.
We're
It's a
not
mix.
fully at the point where the bots are taking over yet.
No,
Keep
but
it
like
done.
the artwork is done using AI, but the fine tuning is done by a human. So that's available. And yeah, thank you,
All right.
the designers. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, casters, for sitting through all 6 days in the holiday season. It can be a little bit sometimes when the bots are a little bit slow. I imagine it can be a little, you know, with a slog, but you guys pushed it through, and I very much appreciate the effort of bringing the knowledge to the audience here.
Always
Awesome. Well, we're gonna let you all go. It's been a nice cast here. Thank you for sticking with us and for watching all these games with us. And hopefully we'll see you next season. Again, we're going to go back to that normal format sometime in the new year. So make sure you join the Discord. Check out our website. Stay up to date with what is going on here at ProBots. And hopefully we'll see you all next time.
Absolutely. See you in 2024, everybody. 2024.
Here we come.
Here we